Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Neves brings it down on the volley. Oh, you must be kidding me! Ruben Neves has just struck a sensational goal. Oh, it's heard in. It's the Anderden Donker who arrives. Oh, the brilliant Belgian in the right place at the right time. Calls it all. That's unbelievable. Jean Martinho has whipped it into the far top corner. Can you believe this?
A very good afternoon and welcome to a bitterly cold home of football. This is Matchday Live Extra and we are live at the Golden Palace, Molineux, for Wolverhampton Wanderers against Leicester City. There's been a bit of snow in the last half an hour or so, not too much, and it didn't settle, but as you can see, myself and Tomo are trying to protect ourselves from the elements as much as possible. The two men sat at home in the warm, Chris Iwelumo and the former Wolves goalkeeper, the former Nigeria international, and the all-round top guy, Ikeme, alongside us
getting better.
as well.
Getting better.
It's getting better, Keith. That is.
Yeah, if you weren't with us for the Crystal Palace game, that might just evade you by, but we'll get there in the end. Boys, we're going to go straight into team news today because there are some really big things to talk about. First of all, Willy Boly and Daniel Podence both being out injured. Daniel Podence actually announced it on his own Instagram yesterday, but no Willy Boly for today. It means the Anderden Donker comes in and will go into the defensive line, and there is a return for Johnny. The first time this season that we have seen him. His first appearance since going off injured against Olympiacos way back at the start of August. Chris Iwelumo, it is a big boost to have him back, but the question mark will be is he going to be match ready, having not even featured in the under-23s? This is it, literally in from the literal cold.
Yeah, you know what? Sports science does make a massive difference. We hear players talk about match sharpness, and that is probably him mentally. He is a very good player, very experienced player, very talented player. I feel that he'll come in, he'll be able to get through a match. You know, we might not see the Johnny that's up and down energy all the time, but he'll choose his moments to go. And you know that when he does get into that position, he has the quality with that final pass, that final decision, which is going to be massive. You know, I think it's great to see him back. Now, I caught wind of these Boly being out and Podence being out. You're sitting thinking, wow, that's massive blows. But then I'm looking at the team and I'm sitting thinking, the quality and depth that we've got. You know, you've got Martinho and Neves in there protecting Dendoncker, who knows that central defence position. You know, he's got that athleticism, he's got the power, he's got the presence. You know, he's a good footballer. You know, we give him the credit, but we can hurt Leicester. And I'm looking at that team with the offensive players that we've got. You know, it's all about relationships, and Carl will say this, you know, it's pairings and Tomo all over the pitch. You know, you've got Semedo and Traore down the right. Obviously, Neto and Johnny. For Neto, having Johnny there will be absolutely massive. And obviously, with those pairings, with the quality that's going to be in the wide areas, it's about putting the service right on the money for Willie and Jose, the big man. So I'm looking at it, and I've watched Leicester a few times over the last probably 3 weeks. You know, I've been working and I've seen them. And they do play out from the back all the time, no matter, even when it's not on to play. Now, if I'm noticing that, our scouting network will see that. And if we can go and press high, that high block, and we get the ball in those areas, we have the quality then in those individuals to go and score goals. So I'm looking at it, I'm sitting thinking, you know what, yeah, we can cause them a lot more trouble and hopefully they can cause us. I don't see the Donker being the centre-back being a massive issue with his power and athleticism.
Well, listen, Leander Dendoncker played 17 times last season as part of a back 3/5, whichever way you want to go about it. Carl Ikeme, I wonder whether, you know, in bringing Dendoncker in and go into the 5 and then throwing Johnny in as well, is that a gamble, or is that maybe a bit of pragmatism from Nuno, looking at it going, well, we don't have Willy Bolly, so let's make sure that we're solid with the 5, and if Johnny's fit and he's been training for a couple of weeks and he's been out amongst it, let's get him in there.
I think with maybe Bolly being injured, it might have maybe forced the hand a little bit sooner than he would have liked, but I think it's a massive thing for Johnny to come back. I think we've realised how much we've missed him all this season. He brings such great balance going forward and getting back to this team. With losing Doc as well over the summer, it was 2 out of our sort of famous back 5, and there were 2 really important members out of that as well. And we've had the arguments all season about formations, but we've maybe neglected, not neglected. We do appreciate Johnny, but we've maybe neglected how big Johnny and Doc were in the way we played. And I think Johnny coming back today is huge. I'm not expecting him to be of old Johnny, but I'm just happy he's back on the pitch, in all honesty, because it's difficult to get back from that injury. It's difficult to get back from that injury in such a short space of time and be fit to play as well, which is credit to him, and we know how good the medical team are there as well. But with Dendoncker being at the back also, it doesn't worry me. It's not something, obviously I would like Bolly in there, but Dendoncker's more than capable. But it also gives us an opportunity to go to 4 if we need it, and to pack the midfield without making a sub. So I've got them sort of 2 things in mind, why Dendoncker might be in there as well.
Well, let's talk about that reference that Keem's just made there. 185 days, Tomo, since Johnny damaged his anterior cruciate ligament. Now, there was a time when players didn't come back at all from that type of injury. So, as Carl rightly mentions, to be back playing in 185 days is a remarkable recovery.
Yeah, it is, and we've spoke about what this medical team do at Wolves and the way that they've kept players fit. And for that first 2 years, we never really had a big injury. We're very lucky and fortunate. We only used a small squad, but it just shows you what they do and the preparation, what they can give a player for him coming back. Look, he would have been doing upper body work, say he'd been doing low impact stuff as well on his leg. But again, it just shows you the way that these the coaching staff and medical team have looked after him. And look, when we've seen players coming back from injuries, say straight away they're up to speed. I say, look, I'll be very surprised if he lasts the whole 90 minutes, but I think they wouldn't put him in if he wasn't ready. I don't think that Nuno would risk him if he thought, well, hang on a minute, he might not just be ready yet. It's a massive plus for us coming back in. Big blow, Bolly being out. But I agree with the boys as well about Dendoncker. I don't think there's an issue at all with him going into that back line at all. I think he can play there. He's gone.
No, carry on. I was just going to carry on. I was just going to talk about the bench, but take it.
I just think that he can play anywhere. Say for me, so look, the way that he plays, he gets around the field. He's athletic, as we've touched on as well, and there's no doubt about it. He can play, and it just gives that balance as well with Kilman on one side, Dendoncker, and you've got Conor Cody in the middle.
No, just looking at the bench, if there is certain issues on the pitch, if there's changes need to be made, do we look at that bench and think, right, there's game changers there, there's Sais that's ever present, that's got the experience, but then there's Otisau who's come in and can play that role in the holding midfield role, Morgan Gibbs-White as well, there's players that have played football, that played Premier League games, that can come in and do a job. Might not be game changers, but can come in and just steady a ship. But I just feel I agree with Tomo with the likes of Johnny. I don't see him seeing the full match out, but I think his experience will play a massive part today, just about getting through the match and doing the right things.
Okay, it's going to be really interesting. We'll come back to the team news in just a second, but we need to bring in Leon Blanche from our partners at Boyle Sports, who thankfully somebody on the panel managed to win some money from him the other day.
Took us long enough.
This guy. We'll get to that in a minute, Leon. But obviously, based around all the team news that we've just been discussing, I wonder kind of whether that's going to have an impact on people putting their bets on for this lunchtime game.
Yeah, look, I suppose, when I first saw the couple of players that were going to be missing, especially Bolly, I thought he's been really good at the back. Wolves had drifted a little bit in price. They've gone over 2-1 now to just win at home. They're 11-5, and a bit of money has come for Leicester. Leicester have pretty much settled on a kind of a first 11 now that they don't have Jamie Vardy. They've got Iheanacho up front. He obviously scored last time out against Fulham, a brilliant ball in by James Maddison. I think he's a player who obviously Wolves have got to keep an eye on. Harvey Barnes, very quick, very athletic, very powerful. But Leicester have come in for a little bit of support. But Wolves, on the back of a victory, will be looking to obviously make it back-to-back home wins. And that's the first time in a long time that they've actually been able to do that, should they get 3 points today.
What about the goal-scoring markets? Where's the money going at the minute?
Yeah, look, I mean, without Vardy, if he was playing, he would be far and above the best back player in terms of opening up the scoring. But if you look, Iheanacho, he's 9-2 favourite to open the scoring. But Willian Jose has come in for a bit of support. He was 13-2 last night. He's now 11-2, which is 5.5 to 1 to open the scoring today. He's gone in from 5-2 into 2-1 to score at any time. So hopefully Willian Jose can get his name on the score sheet today.
Obviously, the other night, we kind of bullied you into giving us better odds to try and actually win some money from you. And it's obviously paid off massively in our favour. Because I obviously got a winning bet the other night, it's 2 pundits up for it today. So let's go to Carl Ikeme. Talk us through what you're putting your money on.
Yeah, I'm going to go for the 2-2 draw today and Jose to score. I think Leicester are a good side and I do respect them massively. And I don't think 2-2 is a bad result necessarily. I hope I'm wrong, but I do want to win some money as well. So I'm trying to balance everything. So I'm going 2-2 and Jose to score for Wolves.
The pressure's on now, Carl, because Mikey got, he finally got a winner of 4-1. Look, 2-2 and Willian Jose to score at any time. It's a big price. It's a 22-1 chance. So if that comes in, our charity will be thanking you no end. But I agree with you. I think there will be a couple of goals in the game today. I think with a couple of changes, I heard what the boys were saying at the back with a couple of changes with Wolves. They are experienced players, but I do feel that there will be goals for both teams. So 22-1, 2-2 draw, and Jose to score at any time.
Chris Iwelumo normally gives us a ridiculously long list.
No, I'm keeping it simple. Keeping it simple. I'm going to go for a Wolves win and Willian Jose to score anytime.
Well, that is nice and simple. Wolves, as I said, they are, and they've just gone 11-5 just to win the match. But if you want to back Wolves and Jose to score at any time, it's a 4-1 chance. So hopefully Wolves can get the 3 points and Jose to score at any time. I'm going to throw one out there. It's similar. I think Wolves have enough to actually just nick this, but I'm going to go for Wolves to win and both teams to score, and that's a 5.5-1 chance at 11-2.
Leon, great to have you with us as ever, my friend. Enjoy your Sunday lunch and enjoy watching Wolves. I'd say this is the situation Carl Ikeme's put us in, because part of me now wants it to be 2-2 because we're going to get 22-1 and the foundation are going to be rolling in it if that comes in.
Well, look, I mean, if it's 2-2, brilliant. But if Wolves win and Jose can score any time, I think the charity and the club will both benefit. And don't worry, come the end of the season, we'll always round it up to a nice big round number to make it nice and easy.
Thank you, mate. Good to see you, Leon. Stay safe, stay well.
Cheers, Leon.
All the best, boys.
Cheers, Leon.
Thank you, mate. Leon Blanche from our betting partners, Foyle Sports. We thankfully were able to get a bit of money from them on Tuesday, which was lovely, and that will hopefully go to the Feed Our Pack campaign as well, which is very important. Check out the Wolves Foundation social media channels for more details on that. Just a quick kind of note, I guess, then on that Arsenal game, boys, because we talked an awful lot after the game about the fact that they just needed to get the win, didn't they, Chris Iwelumo? They got it as the wind absolutely batters us here. And hopefully it will give them some confidence. They'll know that there were still things to work on, but if they can now just carry on the way they finished that game, there's every chance that they can get things moving again.
Well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's building on the last game. I think there's a lot of positives to take out of it, getting 3 points, working on the negatives, the things that you're not happy with, but there'll be a feel-good factor. That was a massive result. It came at a time when it was badly needed, and that shows you the character of the players as well. I've got to say, Leicester probably come into this match favourites, aren't they? With the team that they've got, the quality they've got. So again, can you use that as a motivation? Jamie Vardy being out again, another motivation. I know we're missing big players, but we've still got a very offensive side. So again, it's just about building on the last game. No matter what the result, making sure that you take it into the next. That winning feeling. There's nothing better in football when you walk into the dressing room after a hard fought win, and you come in with some good individual performances. So I just feel that the experienced players in the group, will get around the players. They'll be instructed. They'll know exactly what to expect today. But it's about bringing the A game. I think we spoke the other day about certain players having that relationship to talk, to say about what Angel say about the service that he wants. We have offensive players that are very creative, and it's just about him. Like I think it was Tomo that said it the other night. Just telling the players, this is how I want the ball. This is how I want to receive it from wide areas. I'm going to hang up at the back. That's what I did. When I had Jarvo and Kites and whoever on the wings, you have that communication with them. They know that if they're, without even looking, they're just going to hang it up, and you're coming and tacking it. I know Jimenez is the exact same. That's what he says to his players. He does it naturally. The players know that. So hopefully he's had that chat to them, because I think with the offensive players we've got, we are going to be creating a lot. We want to see a lot of crosses. We want to see that service coming into the big man. And if the service comes, I know he's got the quality to do damage.
Okay, we're going to get a Leicester point of view now. And what a name we have joining us here on Matchday Live Extra on Wolves TV. So many big names have been joining us over the last couple of weeks, and we are delighted to be able to welcome to Matchday Live Extra Emil Heskey. Emil, great to have you with us here on Matchday Live Extra. It's a big game. We've just been obviously talking from the Wolves' point of view, but Leicester, effectively, are they in a genuine title challenge again this year?
You would like to think so. Obviously, when we won the league, no one thought we could sustain that. Everyone was talking about Christmas period, then they were talking about after Christmas, and then they started talking about the end of the season. And no one still, with 10 games to go, still didn't believe that Leicester could do it. So you can never count them out. But realistically, when you're looking at Leicester and their progression, you would just say that it's nice to see them in that top off, in the top four right now, and hopefully they can sustain that because of the fall away from last season.
Are you talking about the title challenge?
No, I'm not talking about title challenge. I'm talking about trying to stay in the top four. It was a bit of a after the turn of the new year last year. It was a bit of a fall away from where they were to where they actually finished. Don't get me wrong; they were still in Europe, etc., and it was a massive season for them. But from where they were to where they finished, it was a bit of a fall off. So hopefully they can sustain it for a bit longer this time.
Emil, would you say that Leicester are going through a transitional period, and how much credit would you give to Brendan Rodgers for the brand of football, but still being competitive at that top end of the table?
I think you've got to give everything to Brendan in the sense of from where they were when he came in to where they are now, and the style of football, the different formations that they're playing. They're so interchanging. They go from a 3-4-3 to a 4-3-3 to a 4-2-3-1. 4-4-2 to a 4-4-1-1, all within a 90 minutes. And for everyone to understand that and to grasp that, I'm coaching now, so I understand that it's not easy to coach players to understand that you're going from one to another, where to tuck in, when to stay out wide, to stay inside, to push out high and wide. And it's very hard, but he seems to be able to get the best out of the lads, and especially young lads. When you're looking at the likes of Harvey Barnes, when I say young lads, you look at Jamie Vardy at 34. Who would have thought that he'd be getting fitter, quicker, stronger, looking more hungry than ever?
Yeah, you talked about him standing in that top four. Do you think they could have invested a bit more in that window that's just gone?
Look, I think you've got to be careful, especially with the times that we're in, about overextending yourself. And one thing we've got to remember, it's a business as well. And I think with what they have, they would have loved to have gone out and got another striker. Would have loved to have got a few more players just to cement where they are. I think realistically, you've got to look within, and don't forget you've got a decent youth setup where the likes of Harvey Barnes, Hamza Chowdhury, I know Chilwell's left, but Chilwell was come through there. You've got all these players coming through, so sometimes you might have to tap into that rather than actually going out and spending in the time that we're in.
Emil, just to look at where Leicester are on the table now, and looking, say, at the so-called Big Six, Spurs are quite a way off. I know you've got West Ham on 39 points. Do you think it'd be a disappointment now if Leicester didn't get into that top four? And also, just to add to that, do you think that Leicester can become a genuine top four club over the next year or two? Because they've been there or thereabouts for the last few years.
Yeah, look, for the first question was, do you think they genuinely should stay in? Yeah, I do think they'll be looking at that and saying that they have to try and cement that top four. It's just about putting in the performances. You've seen it week in, week out that they can put in the performances, and they can get the results that they want. Do I see them as genuine top four? When we look at top four, and you're talking about the likes of Tottenham, when you're looking at net spend, it's difficult to match them at times. So when you look at any league, I play for Wigan, and you look at their rise through the different leagues, they were net spending bigger than anyone else, and I think net spend is a massive thing. I think with where the club's going, there's no reason why we can't progress into that, because when you're looking at the new training facility, you walk someone around that new training facility, you've got half a chance of nicking someone off someone else, who then you can showcase that you can play regular football in a style that suits you, and you can be an international player. So there's no reason why that progression can't be there. But right now, I think realistically, top 8, top 6 team Leicester is.
Emil, I guess we talk about recruitment and stuff. Are Leicester almost the blueprint now? Because, I think Wolves have probably looked at Leicester over the last couple of years and seen that idea of, when you're allowed to sell players on to the bigger teams because it gives you the money to then reinvest. We've obviously tried to do it with Diogo Jota this summer. You look at the players that have left Leicester over the last 4 or 5 years, and yet you've still managed to keep it going. So something's clearly right in turning that round and keeping the team in.
Well, I think a scouting system is huge to any club, and a network that you can tap into different countries and different places where you're picking up some of the best talent. No disrespect to Leicester or Wolves, if a Man United or a Liverpool or Arsenal come calling and the money's there, it's difficult for certain players. I know for some they would not turn their back on the club, etc. But it's difficult for certain players to turn their back on that sort of thing, because again, we especially for myself, I grew up in an era where Liverpool were dominating, where Man United were dominating. So if they come in for you, you're like, your head's turned. But then it's for you to turn that into, as a club, it's for the club to turn that into a positive for them. When you look at Coutinho leaving Liverpool and the money that was spent wisely on the back of that, this is sort of business that needs to be done. And I think Leicester, with the scouting system and the network that they've got, they've done fantastic.
I mean, I've got to ask you, striker to striker, then you look at Kelechi and Nacho, let's be honest, if Jamie Vardy's fit, he's going to start. Now, how is that for the mindset and the mentality of a striker when you know that you've got to take that chance? And even if you do, when Vardy's fit, he's coming straight back in.
Tough, very tough. Because again, like you're saying there, even if he does score, and he scored last week, remember?
Yeah.
He scored in Europe as well. He scored in nearly every game that he's played in Europe. So he's actually, when he's played, he's contributed, but then you know that Vardy's going to come back in. The only thing I would say for him is Vardy's 34.
Yeah.
So, he's got a year, you would say he's got a year, possibly 2, before then you really start to looking at other options. But again, Leicester will be looking at options to buy again. But with Kelechi, the only thing he can do is keep scoring and keep producing good games that the manager doesn't have to look elsewhere. Because again, the manager will be looking at other strikers, because he'll be looking at someone that is in more or less the same vein as Vardy, because when Kelechi plays, the actual system changes a little bit.
Yeah.
Vardy more or less goes in behind all the time. And then with that, the defence drops. With the defence dropping, Maddison gets more space. Mm-hmm. Whereas Kelechi comes more to the ball, condensing Madison's space to work within. But then you need probably the wings to be making runs in behind. So you always need someone to be stretching.
Emil, before we let you go, sorry, Cole, we've got time for, I think, for one more. And I just wanted your thoughts on Willian Jose for Wolves, because we had John Hartson on the other night and we had a big, long conversation about kind of big, strong strikers being undervalued around in the Premier League at the moment. But he's not scored in his first couple of games. And I wondered kind of what it's like when you move to a new team, when you move to a big club also, that you feel that pressure just to get that first goal.
Oh, you're always going to feel that pressure to get the first goal, to be honest with you, wherever you go. And that just settles your nerves a little bit as well, to being around the lads and being around a new surrounding. If once he gets that first goal, you'll see him relax. You see the best of him coming out. As long as he focuses on himself and focuses on what he's been brought in for. He's been brought in for holding the ball up, bringing players in. Jimenez is pretty similar, but Jimenez seems that he was flying with his confidence. Now, as long as you keep doing that and he's got the right players around him who will boost him, then it's not so bad. It's when you feel like you're on your own and you feel like, and as you all know, players are their own worst enemy. They beat themselves up. So you need a good core people around you just to give you that lift, and that goal will come. And it'll come off your backside or come off your toe or something like that. Won't be the best of goals, but then you'll start to get your confidence up and you'll see him bring the ball in, turning people, having shots. But he shouldn't stop doing the things that got him to there, because they're the things that people want to see.
Well, we're going to keep banging the drum for big strikers, because then, of course, you and Chris Iwelumo can maybe get the boots back on.
Yeah, I'm working on my fitness. No
chance. Knees are gone.
Emil, really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us.
Take it easy.
Take care, guys.
Thank you. Emil Hiskey with us here on Matchday Live Extra. Talking of confidence, Carlo Ikeme, João Moutinho and Ruben Neves, both on the score sheet the other night. Moutinho, for kind of obvious reasons, for the length of time it's taken for him to get the goal. And you saw his reaction, certainly after scoring, but also at the end of the game, how much it meant to him to get through to there. So in terms of confidence, hopefully, are we going to see the João Moutinho of a year ago now flying again?
It's really important. We've been talking about it all season, that we need goals from all areas. I know Looms has been harping on at Neves to add more goals to his game, and it's huge. Confidence. Moutinho's been a great player for a long time. I know confidence and form is important in football, but I doubt he'll be questioning his own football ability. He's a great player. The team struggled. The whole team struggled at times. So I think it would be add a boost to him anyway, as it would do scoring a goal. But it just adds more goals, and it's sometimes it's not psychological because it's real that we've not had goals from other areas. But when we're playing against opposition teams and they know Moutinho can hit it from distance, they know Neves can hit it from distance, it's just a fear factor sometimes. Yeah. They might close the ball down a bit quicker outside the box. They might not give him so much space. It might open up space for someone else, but it threatens other teams to think that we can get goals from other areas, instead of thinking, if we just keep Traore quiet, they won't score. We need goals from everywhere, and I think that's an important thing. Obviously, apart from the goals and the screamer, of course, it's brilliant. You could see his emotion. You also kind of, when he scored the goal, I was trying to look around to see if there's a crowd there, just because the emotion in his face. Yeah. But you could see how much it meant to him as well, and how buzzing he was to score. So it's important, obviously, for the fact that we need goals from all areas. But of course, it would have given him a boost, and it would give the whole team a boost, because we do need goals from all areas. And Ben both scoring on the other night, on Tuesday, was it Tuesday night, Wednesday night? Is massive for us.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about kind of the age he's getting to as well, where you kind of wonder, like, how many more of those kind of goals and those kind of moments is he going to get, and whether that kind of plays a part in it. Talking of kind of working hard and trying to get goals from all sorts of areas, we've got another guest ready to join us here on Wolves TV, Matchday Live Extra, a man that two of our pundits will know very well, and a man who, of course, carried Chris Iwelumo for a large part of his Wolves career. Andy Keogh is waiting to join us here on Wolves TV. all the way from Australia. A big welcome to Andy Keogh. Andy, I've just built you up to say that you carried Chris Iwelumo for the majority of his time at Wolves. That's true and fair, isn't it?
No, he kicked me out of the team. He did. He was too good for me.
Andrew, you're looking at $1 million, mate. Tell you what, the setup that's the most professional setup yet, isn't it?
No, it's not bad. You know. It's the sun. It's the sun's helping me stay young.
Andy, how are you, first of all? How's life out in Australia?
Yeah, it's great. We're very lucky, as people have heard out here, compared to the rest of the world at the minute. But we've the government here seems to have done things very well, and we've been living a pretty normal life for the last 10 months.
We've just been talking with Emil Heskey about Willian Jose and that desire to get the first goal, that his performances have been there. He just needs to add that goal to it. It's a difficult thing, isn't it, from a striker, because you are always kind of judged on your goal return, and people don't always give credit for the work rate and effort that you put in around and about it.
Absolutely. It took me 6 games to get my first goal for Wolves. It wasn't for the lack of trying, but as long as you do your all for the team, you make unselfish runs, and the team benefits in a positive way, your time will come. If you do the right things, the rewards always come your way.
Yeah, you're probably a prime example of that, really, aren't you? Because you used to work harder than anyone, and maybe didn't get the glory as Looms used to hang around the box a lot. But do you genuinely believe that as long as you keep doing them right things, the fans will always back you? Deep down in my heart, I believe that, Carl. If you don't do it, you're just fooling yourself. It's ingrained in certain people, and if you are unselfish and have genuine love for your team and your teammates, the more you don't care if you score or not, and if they score, you're happy, which is what I was for Chris and Sylv and Vokesy and all the boys when we were there. It's whoever scored, it didn't matter as long as the team won.
Not always the case, though, because I guess Chris Iwelumo has said quite a few times before that you and Sylvan didn't always like it when one had scored more than the other. Looms?
Sylvan never spoke to me for 6 weeks. It's just one of them. It was Keogh, you can say this. I remember it. Yeah, but that's another story. But wait, Andrew, how important is it with the service that Willian Jose is going to be getting? You talk about being selfless for the team, and that's doing the fundamentals. That's so important. But it's so important that he has that relationship with the players, that they know the service that he wants. If it's hanging it up, if it's into feet, what kind of balls. Having that relationship is so important as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. Like for example, you got Troy Orway, he's getting down. When he gets to the byline, is he going to hang it? Is he going to go low and hard across the front? It's just understanding that relationship.
Yeah. Like
when we go back to our time that you and me and all had with Kites and Jarvo, you know what they're going to do. Jarvo's going to chop back on his right foot. He's going to hit that back stick. And it's that relationship and the understanding that they get. But, with Neto as well on the other side and his silky skills and quick feet and ability to beat a player, if he keeps making those runs, getting across the near post, pulling off his man on the back stick, he's going to get exactly what he wants, and then it's up to him to finish it.
So how long do we think it takes to build a relationship, a strike partnership or a front three partnership, and the relationships with others around? I mean, how long does that kind of take, boys?
I don't know. I think sometimes it's to do with a little bit of luck, Sometimes the ball just drops and the striker bangs it in, and then all of a sudden he goes on a run. Chris will tell you it's exactly how it happens sometimes. Like he put them in off his chest against Watford away, I remember. Do you know what I mean? And he just goes on a run. It's crazy. And then people will say, "Oh, look at this great relationship they have." But when you actually look at how it started, sometimes it's just from pure effort to be in an area and just get it in the net.
I think if we're talking about Willian Jose, he's had a couple of opportunities, hasn't he? The shot against Arsenal that he kind of made himself, the penalty that he took down on another day, he's just slotting that. So I completely agree. A lot, but every day in training, he's building up those relationships. The players will see what he likes, what he does, his touch, and then they've got to try and take that into the game and give him that the service that he wants.
I think also as well. Sorry, Kia.
I'm just adding on that. And if he's the player that we all think he is, he'll be looking at his players around him and seeing what they do. And he'll be thinking, okay, this is how they play in training, so this is what I need to do to benefit off them.
Yeah.
Also, as well, I think it's the team and the atmosphere around the team as well. I was just talking about relationships, like when Keogh and Looms came and Kites and everyone came in, we had a good rapport around the team, and it seems like the lads at Wolves at the minute have that same sort of rapport. They're all good lads, they all know each other, and that's where it's important when someone comes into the team that they kind of buy into that, because you make your relationships off the field in the change room as well, and that kind of helps you settle in as well. So I think all these relationships, along with training and playing with the lads, will ultimately help it all flow and click.
But also as well, just trying to do the right thing all the time, isn't it? You must get frustrated, Looms and Andy, that if it doesn't work for you or it doesn't get a goal, I know you're saying a little bit of luck does help a little bit, but I think it's just making sure you do the right thing, isn't it? In games, making sure that you get in that area where you know the ball should be coming, and that's a big thing for strikers to do, isn't it?
I guess you have two different types of striker. The thing with Andrew worked so hard. You know, he done all the selfless hard work, and then he had that quality that he can score a goal out of nothing as well. You know, for me, I knew what my strengths were. I'm not going to be running channels and all that. I'm not going to be chasing down. I know if the service comes in, it's down to me to make it stick. Then you've got a player, and like you say, like Silv, and Silv will know it, that never really worked hard for the team. It was all about getting goals. But you have to have that balance, you know, and I think we've seen what Jimenez, he works so hard for the team, probably overworks sometimes, but he scores the goals. Fabio Silva came in, very different type of player, technical, very, very good link-up player, more probably our number 10, but Willie Njosu's that number 9. You know, he does it all. The link-up play is very good. He works hard for the team as well, but he is going to be judged on goals. It's as simple as that. Strikers are.
Absolutely.
And then as you're going back to what he needs, sometimes it's just about the basics. Hold the ball up, lay it off to the boys that can create, and get yourself in the areas. And you can look yourself in the mirror and go, I did my job. And if the ball didn't get into where I needed to be, that they didn't do their job. Simple as.
We're hoping it's a little bit of an omen, Andy Keogh, but you have scored for Wolves against Leicester in a Wolves win, not here, but I don't know whether you can remember it. It was quite early in your Wolves career as well, May 2007.
He remembers all his goals, trust me.
Exactly. Hey, Chris, there's not one striker that doesn't remember all their goals.
Spot on, mate. Spot on.
Yeah, no, that was a good day. That was actually the start of something good, something that they have going right now. The start of a team spirit, you know, then with the additions of extra players like Chris and Jonah and all the boys that came in. They were good days, and it would be nice to repeat that today, definitely.
What do you reckon score-wise today? What are you thinking?
Mate.
I'm thinking Wolves have a good chance. I do like Leicester, to be honest. I like Maddison a lot. I love Vardy. He's right up my street, and I know he's not playing, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 Wolves.
Carl Ikeme?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with what I said for the charity prediction, 2-2. I do really like Leicester, and it's not a disrespect on Wolves to think that they can't win the game. I do believe they generally can win the game, but I don't think 2-2 is a bad result for us either. I really do. I think it'll be a tough game. I think there'll be goals in the game as well.
Chris Iwelumo?
Yeah, well, I'm sticking with my bet as well. I'm going 2-1 Wolves and Willie Njosu to open his account.
Tomo?
Yeah, I've got to go with the boys, unfortunately. I think the both teams will score, and I think Wolves will just edge it 2-1 for me.
Well, thanks to all of you for leaving 1-0 free for me as ever. My standard prediction. Andy Keogh, thank you very much indeed. I know it's late at night where you are. Thank you for joining us here on Matchday Live Extra.
Take it easy, Andy, mate. You look amazing, by the way.
Brilliant, mate.
Coming to Australia.
Hey, team. You know that door is always open, mate. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Take it easy.
Take care, pal.
Thank you, Andy Keogh, joining us here on Matchday Live Extra. Andy Keogh, Emil Heskey, Carl Ikeme, Chris Iwelumo and Andy Thompson here as well. Don't go anywhere because the first half is coming next here on Wolves TV.
Matchday live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Join the pack. Become a 2021 member online today. Whether you're a dribbler joining for the first time or an international fan supporting from afar. Being a Wolves member gets you an exclusive joining gift, £10 Megastore voucher, and exclusive offers from Wolves and our partners. For more information and to join, visit membership.wolves.co.uk.
Wolves Lottery is committed to helping Wolverhampton and the local community improve, whilst giving fans the chance to win some fantastic money can't buy prizes, excellent Wolves experiences, as well as £1,800 given away every week. For more information and to sign up online, visit wolves.co.uk/Wolves-Lottery.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear, and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
Matchday live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Well, what a difference a win makes. Fresh from their first Premier League victory of 2021, Wolves face a high-flying Leicester side with renewed confidence, but more enforced changes. With Willy Bolly and Daniel Penence joining the injured list, it's a timely return for Johnny, his first appearance since damaging knee ligaments 6 months ago. Leander Dendoncker comes into a revamped defensive line. As for form, Leicester have only lost 1 in 9. Wolves have only won 1 in 9. One omen, though, worth looking out for. Wolves have failed to score in 5 of 7 previous Premier League meetings between these two. But when they have, they've won the games by 4 goals to 3. So Rui Patricio will continue in the Wolves goal, but it's back to a back 5 with Leander Dendoncker, Connor Cody and Max Kilman. Johnny in on the left-hand side, Nelson Semedo on the right. The goal scorers from Tuesday night in Ruben Neves and Jean Moutinho in the midfield, Adama Traore and Pedro Neto either side of William Jose. Kasper Schmeichel is the Leicester captain and goalkeeper. Ricardo Pereira, Kaglar Soyuncu, Johnny Evans and James Justin their back 4. Yuri Tillemans, Hamza Chowdhury and James Maddison in the midfield. Jose Perez, Harvey Barnes and Kelechi Iheanacho, their attacking options. It is bitterly cold, windy, minus temperatures at Molineux. You wouldn't know that we are getting towards springtime. There's been a bit of snow in the air. Tomo is wrapped up, the warmest he's been all winter, and we are ready and hopefully to see Wolves get a little bit of consistency into their play, Tomo.
Well, it'd be interesting, yes, on the back of that winning midweek. I know they had 2 players sent off, but it's still a victory. We said at the beginning of the show that we needed a victory, we needed a result, and we got one. It's going to be tough today, but I say, like, with Johnny coming back and keeping that 3 at the back, it'd be an interesting game.
All the players have taken a knee, and James Maddison ready to get us going here at Molineux this afternoon. So there is plenty of wind around at the minute, judging by the flags on top of the Steve Bull stand on the far side. Wolves will be playing into the breeze in the first half as they defend the Sir Jack Haywood South Bank away to our right, attacking the Stan Cullis North Bank away to our left, and Maddison in possession early on. Ball played out to the right-hand side to Ricardo Pereira backwards to Tillemans. Neto trying to close him down. Tillemans trying to run on the outside right for Leicester, and he plays it off Neto for a throw. Wolves in the gold shirts with the black sleeves, black shorts and gold socks. Leicester all in blue.
Yeah, even in that first 30 seconds, Leicester, you can see how sharp they are and the confidence that they've got.
And Ricardo Pereira trying to get around the outside of Johnny, who was climbing on the back of him. And Johnny's first contribution in 6 months is to win a Wolves a free kick.
Well, there you go. Just shows you the experience that he's got playing in that position. So, like, we've got caught that many times, a little 1-2, especially around that penalty area. But Johnny, being the defender he is, so was able just to read it. He knew what was coming and just marshalled him back.
Dendoncker got the ball from Patricio, and he's played a clever one down the line for Semedo. Now for Adama Traore, trying to play it on for Semedo. It was intercepted by Justin. And Leicester recycle it infield to the edge of their penalty area to Evans.
Yeah, you can see just already, ain't you? So Maddison just playing in that number 10 role. And looks like Neves is just being aware of him, but he's just walked away from him. And that's got to be a position that we need to be careful. Might be a person from the back might have to step in.
There he is, Hamza Chowdhury, dropping deep for Leicester, across to Johnny Evans, who's going to try and play a long one towards Iheanacho. Cody will nod the ball down, but it was picked up by Maddison, got there ahead of Neves. Perez infield for Tillemans, Barnes back to Tillemans, and Chowdhury on the edge of the centre circle inside the Wolves half, to his right-hand side to Evans, low across the centre circle for Soyuncu, who can carry it over halfway. And Justin will go back infield to Johnny Evans as they try and play a high one forwards again, that Johnny is forced to track back and play it to Patricio, who was a little bit on his heels, managed to get out and clear it, and the ball has stayed in play, bounced right on the touchline in front of Nuno.
Well done.
And Wolves end up getting a throw as Neto plays it off Ricardo.
I think that, he's saying he got caught on his heels, Patricio there. I think that he just played it a little bit wider than he thought was going to come, and I think that he was waiting for the ball to actually be played to him, but Johnny just played it a little bit more to the left than he thought, and in the end he did pretty well. So look, and we've got this throwing up near enough on the halfway line.
William Jose taking a leaf out of Jimenez's book in chesting down the throw and trying to hook a huge half volley across field that Traore did well to use his muscle to keep hold of. Semedo trying to drive forwards, but he's been out-muscled by Harvey Barnes. Ball infield into the centre circle to Tillemans. Into the feet of Jose Perez just to the right of it. Good pressure being put on. Johnny went flying in there and the left two Leicester players on the floor.
Welcome back.
Maddison for Barnes. Iheanacho laying it back to Chowdhury. Now Maddison taking over again. Trying to find the feet of Iheanacho. Maddison on. Iheanacho will chase, but Patricio's out sharply this time. And gets to the loose ball to the right-hand side of his penalty area.
But you can just see that Maddison is the man that you've got to try and stop, in you. Already he's been linked to a couple of attempts by Leicester to get behind the Wolves back line. And you just saw their quick play. He's got great feet. And that's what he'll be doing. He'll just wander around the pitch, trying to get into areas when they do get the ball to make it difficult.
Dendoncker forwards. Neto tried to take it on the chest. It just got away from him. Evans back to Schmeichel. We'll play it low out to the left-hand side to Soyuncu. Tillemans dropping deep to pick up on the ball.
Yeah, so you're just watching Neto there because we hadn't pressed the ball as a team. He's gone running on his own and they just was able just to play around him.
Evans with a loose pass behind Ricardo. Wolves throw just on the halfway line. Oldie but Goldie says whatever happens today, seeing Johnny back is a massive boost to everyone. He won't be match fit yet, but what he brings will give us balance.
Yeah, he got lucky there, didn't he?
Johnny trying to spot an early one towards Traore, just undercooked it, but Nuno applauding the intention.
Yeah, he was the right one on. He was the right one early, just to get it out to Traore. Just didn't catch all of it, did he? Pretty low as well. You could see him just jumping up, slapping his thigh because he knew that he hadn't put the power to get it out to Traore. But again, it's something that we've looked at. Willie and Jose up front as well tried that ball out wide early.
Soyuncu for Evans. Just up towards halfway, just to the couple of yards to the right of the centre circle. Again, trying a pretty long straight one that this time it's Dendoncker wins in the air. Leicester definitely trying to get Iheanacho behind that defensive line that Wolves have of the three of them.
Yeah, they've looked at that already, haven't they? I think he's hit that about 2 or 3 times. I think Maddison's done one as well.
Traore just overrunning the ball on the edge of the centre circle. Tielemans taking over, trying to find Barnes. He's got Justin running up on his outside. Barnes goes infield to Maddison, who's allowed to turn and play it out to the left-hand side. We'll come back infield to Chowdhury. Now for Johnny Evans. Soyuncu for Chowdhury. Picked up by Maddison again. Low across the centre circle for Johnny Evans. Willian Jose will try and close in on him. Tielemans for Maddison. Trying to lift it into the penalty area. Cody nodding it down from the edge of the box to Neto. Neto trying to evade a couple of challenges, playing it backwards to Johnny. Johnny twisting and turning. And he went down and he will win another free kick there, Johnny.
Yeah, I think he never really had control of it, did he? And I think they're having to go at the assistant referee out this side. But for me, I thought Johnny was lucky there because he looked like he just stumbled a little bit and didn't really have control of it. But take anything.
Max Kilman is going to take the kick short backwards to Cody, just outside his own area. Back to Kilman, who of course had a difficult first 45 minutes in an unusual left-back position on Tuesday night.
He did, didn't he? He got caught a few times, didn't he? He's better the second half. I know that, again, they had a player less, but it was so important for him to just try and build into the game, and because he getting picked off.
Tielemans for Jose Perez. Now Chowdhury over halfway out to the left-hand side to Barnes, closed down by Semedo, and Traore tried to get back across in front of his man.
Done.
And
well done between the two of them.
Drew the foul. Free kick taken short.
Yeah, did well, didn't they? Semedo and Traore together. Taking the ball off Barnes.
That's Kilman. Wide to Neto, back to Kilman, midway inside his own half. Comfortable enough to turn to the side of Jose Perez and play it long. And Neto's done well to get there. His first touch was just a bit heavy, and it allowed Johnny Evans to get across and put it out of play.
He did. He just needed to knock it just slightly to his left-hand side, didn't he? Because Johnny Evans, who marked him pretty well there, just give him a little bit of a chance to win the ball and set for a throw-in. But if he controlled that just to the centre, or just off to his left, sorry, he would have probably got away from him.
Johnny with the throw in towards the feet of Matinho. Back to Johnny, trying to play it down the line, blocked off by Tielemans. So you can use the hashtag Wolves Live to get in touch with us, and also join the live chat on our official Wolves YouTube channel, where many will be tuning in and listening to us this afternoon. As Johnny has Neto down the line, Matinho just in field, goes to Neto. We'll play it back to Johnny. Now to Neto again. Trying to feed it down the line. Comes off Ricardo Pereira. Matinho thought about trying to take the throw quickly.
He did well there, Neto, didn't he? So tight situation. Got the best out of it, throw in.
Willian Jose will come across. It goes to Matinho. Now to Johnny again. Trying to hold off his man. Brilliant low centre of gravity that he has. And he finds Matinho.
Well, he must have been working on his upper body as well since he's been off as well. So that's going to help him.
Well, he's always been.
Yeah, he's always been the way
built.
He's always been strong, hasn't he?
His quads and calf muscles are something else.
That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised that he got the injury because of the size of his thighs and that.
There's Semedo out to Adama Traore. Trying to go on the outside of Justin. Attempted cross, took a bit of a deflection, and it will be a corner. For a moment, there was a couple of Leicester players claiming that it came back off Traore.
That's what you want to see, though. You want to see your wide men getting at the fullbacks. And again, that's his first run, Traore. And I'm sure, well, hoping that he'll have a lot more throughout the game.
Wolves with a set-piece opportunity that Pedro Neto will take. Left-footed from the right-hand side. Matinho is on the edge of the box as it's crossed in towards the near post. There's a little flick on. Came to Neves, who hit it on the volley. Couldn't keep it down, though, and it went soaring over the top of the crossbar. Not a long way over the top, but, yeah, it was a head-in-hands moment for Ruben Neves.
I think that's a good chance for him. So he scored a similar one the other week, didn't he? Where he just volleyed it from across. And like he had control over it, just caught too much of it, didn't he? If anything. But it's nice to see him in that box getting opportunities at goal. We've said we want more goals from him, and he had an opportunity there.
The Wolves trying to come into the game a little bit. Just about 11 minutes played so far. Here is Johnny Evans. Back to Soyun Chu at the base of the centre circle. Say it is bitterly cold here today. Arguably the coldest game that we've had so far. It's the wind that's causing issues.
It is cutting, isn't it, that wind?
Here's Iheanacho looking wide. Semedo read it, intercepted, and now trying to get Wolves moving, and he's caught there on the halfway line by James Justin.
Yeah, he just his touch just enticed him into the challenge, didn't he? He's tempting just to come in for that, and he was quick. Semedo was able just to get that vital touch on it.
Wolves 0, Leicester 0, nearly 12 minutes played. As Dendoncker goes back to Cody. Kilman. Over halfway to Johnny. Ball bounced back off Ricardo onto Johnny and out of play.
Yeah, just ricocheted, didn't it, back off him. I was hoping the referee might not have seen it, or the assistant referee.
Jose Perez, foot in by Neves. It'll be another Leicester throw, this time in front of Nuno's technical area.
I just saw Matinho there just calling Traore in. So look, I think it's Maddison there. I think they want him to take care of him.
Carlo back to Evans. Now to Soyuncu, who can carry it up towards the halfway line to the left of the centre circle. Wide for Barnes, back to halfway to Justin. Infield to the base of the centre circle to Evans. Now to Soyuncu. Chowdhury back to Soyuncu. In the game that Wolves played at the King Power earlier this season. One of those archetypal games of two halves where Leicester dominated possession first half and pinged the ball around and caused Wolves issues. And second half, Wolves were much improved and the stronger of the two. And it was only a Kasper Schmeichel wonder save that denied Ruben Neves an equaliser.
Yeah.
There's Barnes driving force. Neves across, puts his foot through it and clears.
Yeah, so look, it was a game of two halves, wasn't it? So look, was it the penalty save from Patricio as well? So it's looks like these games are always going to be tough. You're coming up against a team what's top 3, top 4 at the moment, and it's important that you go out there and try and take the game to them a little bit, because again, you know the style that Leicester play, that passing game. Maddison tries to get in that little hole, so you've got to compete with them and also as well offer something going on the top third, and we've got players out there who can.
Here's Johnny Evans. He's midway inside his own half. Playing the ball across the centre circle for Chowdhury. Now out to Barnes on the left-hand side, looking to run at Semedo. Playing the ball infield to Maddison, just outside the corner of the box to Tillemans. Closed down by Neves, who got a foot in.
Well done.
Picked up by Chowdhury. To his right-hand side to Evans, who will help it further out to Ricardo. And shown infield by Johnny. Finds the feet of Iheanacho. Ricardo continued his run, but Neves stepping in and winning possession. And now trying to find Neto on halfway. Closed down by Tillemans, but Neto has done well to spin and drive into the Leicester half and looking to run on the outside of Johnny Evans. And he's got 2 in the penalty area to possibly aim for. He's tried to squeeze his way through, and he has done. And he's into the penalty area. Still Neto putting it back. Traore! Oh, what a block. James Justin threw his body in the way, and Traore just to the left of the penalty spot. Thought he was just going to be stroking the ball home, and the Leicester defender came from out of nowhere to deny him, and Wolves get themselves a corner.
Oh, how well did Neto do? And he picked the right pass, didn't he? Same James Justin just coming out there just to get the block on from Traore. He must have thought that he was scoring Traore. Just put on a plate for him, Neto. Oh, yeah. You could see him trying to place it into that corner. Yeah, unlucky, but good play from Neto there.
He's had to wait an awful long time, Adama Traore, for a Premier League goal. Scored against Palace in the FA Cup a couple of weeks ago. Didn't score in the Premier League in the whole of 2020. Here's Moutinho trying to whip the corner in, and it was Dendoncker climbing highest at the far post. After Wolves had played it short, Moutinho whipped it in, and Dendoncker climbed high. Couldn't really get enough on the header.
No, he couldn't. And we say about taking the game to Leicester, and they've done that. It's a great run down this left-hand side from Neto, picking out the pass as well. But you just saw that it was just probably a fraction too high from Moutinho's cross for Dendoncker. But it's still a good ball in.
Leicester dominating the possession stats, 65-35 at the minute, but 16 minutes played, and Wolves have had the better of the opportunities on goal. There's Ricardo. Infield to Tielemans. Moutinho snapping away, and he put pressure on, and that forced the pass straight to Neto. And Willian Jose trying to hold off Soyuncu and Chowdhury. The ball rebounding to Evans, who goes to Schmeichel. It's noticeable from Wolves. They've been a lot snappier, haven't they, into the challenge?
That's what I'm saying. Well, they couldn't afford not to be in today's game, I think, because you know that the way that Leicester play, there's sharp passing, quick play. And if there wasn't, then they're going to get picked off. But again, did well there, Willian. So, look, I just thought that he could have passed it to Neto a little bit earlier. He wanted to go inside.
There's Tielemans trying to play it in behind Ricardo, who was blocked off by Johnny right in front of the assistant referee.
Yeah, he just blocked him off, didn't he?
I mentioned snapping into the challenges. It was probably one of the criticisms of the last couple of weeks, and certainly the first half on Tuesday night, where Wolves were kind of going to close down, but not really committing to it.
No, but that was because they were too, in my opinion, I think they were too far away from them. And like you're saying, if you're too far away from them, as you're just going, the pass is gone. Today, at least they're in contact with the players. At least they're able, as the ball's travelling to them, they're able to snap at him and get that tackle in.
Madison getting set to try and deliver this ball in from out on the right-hand touchline. It's a whipping delivery. Willian Jose's header away. Ricardo playing it to his left-hand side to Justin. Further out wide for Barnes. 35 yards from the Wolves' goal. Closed down by Neves. Ball goes infield to Tielemans, who will try and lift it forwards, but Johnny can try and head it clear. Moutinho snapping away in there, winning possession back, but his clearance went straight to Tielemans.
That was unlucky from Moutinho there. He did brilliantly, just flicking the ball up, and he thought that Neves was free there, and he tried to head it to him, but again, he could, if he headed out to Neto, I know it's ifs and buts.
Tielemans forward, Semedo's missed it. Justin, infield to Barnes, just inside the corner of the penalty area, trying to 1-2. Barnes on the edge of the box, tried to strike it. It was blocked off by Kilman, Jose Perez, and there's a foot in there by Neves, and Moutinho now finding Johnny, who's closed down by Chowdhury, but he forces him a long way away from goal.
Yeah, so that's because we got everybody back. They just didn't have that option, did they?
Kilman reading the run of Iheanacho. A good first-time football for Wolves.
Yeah.
Kilman playing it off Jose Perez and behind for a goal kick.
That's what you've got to do. You've got to compete with them. You've got to play at least what they're doing. And they definitely are. So, look, Wolves have had a couple of good chances. The Traore one, for an example. So, look, the Dendoncker one was nearly a good ball in. It just overhit a fraction. But they've definitely tested Leicester. They've tried to play around them. But I just think the Neto's started really well down this left-hand side. Just got to try and get Traore into it a little bit.
Haley says, come on, Wolves, 3 points today would be a nice early birthday present, as it's my birthday tomorrow. If it wasn't for COVID, I'd be celebrating my birthday working at Molineux today. So very best wishes to you, Haley. There's a Jose Perez forwards, Iheanacho. Forced a little bit wide in the box, and he smashes his shot high and wide over the top and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, that was unlucky there. Semedo's just stepped in and to win the ball, but it just kind of got stuck underneath his feet. Leicester was able to get the challenge and just get the ball away. But I think then Dendoncker did there with the defending, where he's got inside of him and pushed him out wide. And just say the angle was always against him.
Kilman up towards Willian Jose. He'll be picked up by Soyuncu. Talking of birthdays, a very happy birthday to our producer, Yanni.
Yeah, happy birthday, Yanni. I suppose he's got cake for us staff time, isn't he?
Well, he's bought something in, but it's not made its way up to the press box.
Dear.
If it did, it would have frozen by now.
Probably would have, yeah.
Here's Ricardo down the right-hand side. Shares his birthday with Mick McCarthy.
Oh.
There you go. Happy birthday, Mick, as well.
Same age.
Well, You can say that. I wouldn't.
Mick looks very young, so Mick. So
what? And Yanni doesn't. Is that what he's saying?
No, never.
Here's Evans on halfway. Out to the right hand side to Ricardo, blocked off by Johnny. Leicester throw. I would never be so rude about the man who gives me work and ends up paying me.
Yeah, happy birthday anyway, Yanni.
Tomo's of that age where he didn't care anymore.
Lost count, mate. Lost count.
There's Ricardo. Infield to Madison. Neves intercepted, but it went through to Jose Perez, who back heels on for Iheanacho, but Dendonker's across, and the offside flag's eventually going to go up.
Yeah, that's that rule again, isn't it?
Yeah, because it was Jose Perez who was offside, not Iheanacho.
Yeah. Yeah, he's well offside, isn't he? But because of this rule about he's got to let the game flow until it's all sorted.
I mean, the argument there is that it was Neves' touch that was sending it backwards, so I'm not sure the flag should have gone up. But
I was going to say, it come off his leg, didn't it? So it's but
saw the issues around that Man City goal against Villa the other week.
Oh, well, they've changed the ruling on that a little bit, didn't they?
Well, who knows what all these rules
I was
are
going to
anymore. Yeah, Thomas Souček sending off for West Ham yesterday got quite a few people irate on social media. Mike Dean was the referee. There's Chowdhury. Martin Atkinson, the man in the middle for this game here this afternoon. Evans infield to Tillemans, closed down by Martinho. Across the centre circle for Chowdhury. Trying to whip it wide for Barnes, who's managed to run infield of Semedo and into the penalty area. And now support arriving from Maddison, who pulls it across the face of the 6-yard box. And thankfully, nobody was there to tap it home. And Neto trying to get the better of Ricardo, driving it forwards through the legs of Tillemans. But across came Johnny Evans and gets possession back for Leicester.
Yeah, got caught down that right-hand side, our right-hand side, didn't we? It was lucky that we got enough bodies in there just to cause a problem.
He's just got a little bit sloppy, and Nuno with his arms out asking the question.
Yeah, well, Barnes wasn't it, where he's had his touch and run around the other side of Semedo.
There's Soyuncu, low across the centre circle for Evans, approaching the halfway point of the first half. Leicester very much controlling the territory and possession, but Wolves have had the best opportunities of the game. Evans finding Maddison, midway inside the Wolves half. Little pass to his left to Barnes, back infield to Maddison. Now for Tillemans, who's a little bit behind Ricardo. Forced to play it backwards to Evans under pressure from Neto. Jose Perez.
Oh, great tackle.
Neves went sliding in.
Great tackle.
William Jose finding Dendonker. Good ball to find Neves. Foot in there by Soyuncu. And Maddison to try and carry it forwards. Martinho sliding in, 2 efforts to try and win it back. Jose Perez forwards, but Neves getting back to help out, flicks it wide for Neto.
Yeah, they're doing really well defending, but there's been a couple of times where he just that little bit of care with the pass and they're away. But the side again caught a couple of times by Leicester on the counter-attack. Just need to be careful, especially in those central positions.
There's Dendonker infield to Cody. 24 minutes played. You can hear the wind absolutely battering us at the top of the Billy Wright stand, the front of the top tier. Cody, closed down by Iheanacho and Maddison, goes back to Patricio, who will lay it out to the feet of Kilman, who turns and looks downfield. Goes inside to Martinho. Now to his right to Neves. Neves trying to switch in. It's just about found its way to Adama Traore, and Traore has Semedo already in field. Traore trying to go on his own on the outside and looked like he was bundled over there by Justin. And Traore ranting at the assistant referee who points for a goal kick.
Yeah, so I don't think Traore's too happy. But he's just saying that he just edged him out a little bit, Traore.
And the replay of the opportunity where Maddison pulled the ball back. He was behind Iheanacho, just too far ahead of Barnes. Here's Martinho for Wolves. Neto, left-hand side of the penalty area. Neto trying to dig his cross out, blocked off by Evans. Another Wolves corner.
Yeah, Ricardo and Johnny Evans really close to him when he received the ball. Was in Neto, didn't have much space. Do anything, made the best out of it, I think, in that corner.
Martinho will come across to take it, right-footed from the left-hand side. He's got Traore, Dendoncker, Willian Jose and Kilman as targets. Neto is in the penalty area as well. Neves, Semedo and Johnny on the outside of it. Moutinho ready to deliver. Leicester have brought everybody back to try and defend. Moutinho's delivery, it's a high one. It was Traore who got a touch on it. On the edge of the 6-yard box, Tillemans trying to head it away. Dendoncker challenging. Dendoncker trying to lift it back into the danger zone. Willian Jose trying to bring the ball down. Ricardo got a foot in and sending out towards the corner flag, and Chowdhury just clears it. Picked up by Semedo. Now Neves out on the right-hand side, midway inside the half, trying to cross from deep and trying to switch the play. And Moutinho lets it go all the way through to Johnny. Leicester unhappy. It comes to Neto. Flicks it for Moutinho. Neto has made a run again to pick up on it out wide. Now infield to Johnny, who's done well to help it on again to Neto. It cuts infield, trying to get it back onto his left foot, trying to squeeze through, and he's got past Ricardo again. He whips his cross in. A little bit too much on it, and it flashes through aerially through the 6-yard box. Traore on the right-hand side, driving infield, now finding Neves. Wide again to Semedo. Semedo trying to cross, blocked off. He'll come back to Neves, who lifts it in goalwards, but nobody had quite made the run, and it goes through for a goal kick.
And that's where I think that Traore's got to try and get in the box there and make that extra man. I think that Willian Jose was just the only one in there. He's got to try and get in there for me. I don't think he can afford to keep staying out there wide. It's a great ball in from Neto.
Oh, definitely got the beating of Ricardo Pereira so far.
Yeah, he's done it about 2 or 3 times. But I just think that you got Willian in there. I think Traore's got to try and get across there, the back post. It's a great ball in.
Maybe a bit high?
Yeah, he was. But I think if Traore is coming in and just around about that 6-yard box, I think that he's got a header there for it.
Good header down by Kilman for Neves. He's just miscontrolled it, allowed Tillemans to nip in. He's got it back for Maddison and driving through the middle of the Wolves half. Neves getting back to him, and a free kick's going to be given.
He's trying to rectify his own mistake there, Neves.
Yeah, I don't think he got anything on the ball.
No, I don't think so. I think that he's just caught him, hasn't he, Tillemans? Yeah, he's just caught him, hasn't he?
James Maddison might fancy having a go from this kind of range. It's a long way out.
Well, it must be about 35 yards, hasn't it? I don't know what the wind's doing though, dear. That's the thing.
Only just over 30. Wolves' wall will be paced back to pretty much just outside the D, slightly to the right of centre. As you look towards Rui Patricio's goal, who's trying to line up his 3-man wall.
I just think they've just got to be there. There's a lot of Leicester players around the edge of the 18-yard box. And there's nobody really picking up Perez.
Tillemans might fancy having a go as well. Yeah. Maddison and Tillemans both stood side by side. Chowdhury's gone and stood on the right-hand side of the wall as you look towards it. It'll be James Maddison to strike, and he curls it low, and Rui Patricio grabs it at the second attempt. And he looks to throw it out early towards Johnny. And that's a lovely touch by Johnny. And infield to Willian Jose, and now Moutinho, who can try and sweep it out to the right-hand side to Traore. Semedo's already run on the outside of him. He'll now try and drive infield. Traore finding support from Ruben Neves.
That's where I think Semedo's just got to time his support for him. It's great that he wants to help Traore, but by running in front of him, say, just cutting off the space for him.
Neto, fouled by Jose Perez. Just inside the Leicester half, a couple of yards in from the touchline. What a lovely touch by Johnny as well, though.
I mean, ball, wasn't it?
We talked a little bit about it pre-game. It is remarkable that he's not played a single minute of competitive football in 6 months. Not even that they've been able to have any kind of behind closed doors friendlies or under 23 games for him to play in. It's like he's never been away.
Well, you take your hat off, don't you, to the medical staff. And the people who've got him back up to the fitness levels that he needs to. I know we always talk about being match fit, but I think that, say, again, he's just showing you what they do and how they work with him. And again, he doesn't look any different, does he? He looks like he's not been missing anything.
I wonder how much of it comes down to that kind of muscle memory and in the brain that he's just so well drilled, knowing about how his game works and what he needs to do, that he's able just to go out there and do it.
Yeah, so Maddison rolling around, he never even got caught. He's got up all right. holding his ankle to start with. Referee just ignored it.
It was a bit of a challenge by Dendoncker, but the
Never
ball
really
was a long
caught-
way away.
Yeah, I was going to say, never really caught him though, did he? I think that he tried to make the most of it, but they retained the ball, Leicester.
Just past the half-hour mark. Wolves 0, Leicester 0. Molineux on this Sunday lunchtime. Loose one forwards by Leicester that Dendoncker has time to collect. Finding Semedo. Trying to play it down the line, blocked off by Justin, and it's a Wolves throw. And referee's just going to have a little warning for Dendoncker for that challenge on Maddison.
I don't know quite what he said, because he's put his hands up and said okay. So I don't know if he said, like, just be careful your next one to Dendoncker.
It wasn't a particularly stern talking to.
No,
I think it
that's
was
what I'm
just I saw it, don't think I didn't. There's Tillemans, flicked by Maddison, interception by Dendoncker. Finds Semedo, back to Dendoncker, who was a little bit off balance, and he managed just to clear it up towards halfway. Williams Jose challenging. Oh, and he was caught late there by Johnny Evans, and that was a
booking.
Bit of a naughty challenge that will earn Johnny Evans a yellow card.
Yeah, he's come with his studs, hasn't he? And it's one of those where it's just benched up about knee height and he's just lunged forward, Johnny Evans. Just watching it again.
Williams shows got his foot
I'll tell you
to it.
what.
Oh, he's caught him pretty high there.
Yeah.
Kind of rakes his studs down the front.
He does.
And his shin.
Well, looking at that, I know replay always look worse, but I tell you what, he did well just to get a yellow, I think, after watching it. Come straight down on him.
We've got to win things quickly again. It would have been interesting whether VAR would have had an interest in that. Peter Banks is the VAR main official. There's Kilman for Neves, under pressure from Chowdhury to Matinho, who's popped up on the left-hand touchline on halfway. Back infield to Cody. We can find Dendoncker, who's under pressure from Barnes. So goes back to Patricio. Tries to lift it out to the right side to Semedo. Now for Dendoncker, he's forcing back into an awkward area. Cody came to help out. Cody closed down. Dendoncker left-footed clearing up towards Traore. Wolves have managed to work their way out from a tight squeeze there. Justin.
Oh, that's
like he brought down Traore. Matinho tried to carry on.
Oh, he's saying that he got the ball. I don't know about that one. Traore.
There's Barnes on the left-hand side for Leicester. Trying to run at Semedo. Infield to Iheanacho. Back to Barnes. Infield again. Iheanacho. Wolves players trying to close down Maddison with two efforts. Closed down and blocked inside there. And Wolves are going to get themselves a free kick.
I think
it was an old-fashioned scramble for a moment or two.
Again, they got caught down that Wolves' right-hand side. Barnes and Maddison. But I think it's Johnny who gets a block on it as well. I think Matinho's the one that's down, but I think Johnny was involved in it. Just got caught with that 1-2 around him.
Slick play, Iheanacho. Kilman and Cody took each other out. Johnny then got two blocks on it, and then Maddison trying to win the ball. Kicks the back of Matinho's leg.
It's a good block from Johnny, though. Look at that. Maddison just...
Desire of Cody and Kilman, and then Johnny has taken two to the gentleman area.
Just lunged himself at it, just to get in the way.
Well, that's effort, character, and desire for you.
Well, there you go. You're just looking at his face. Yeah.
And in this kind of temperature, that is going to be sore in that area.
It's not something that you want, is it?
Patricio to clear the ball forwards. Flick on. Barnes trying to run at Dendoncker at pace. Dendoncker did enough to hold him up, and Neves back there, finding the feet of Traore. Infield towards Neves, who can sweep it, looking to Neto. Ricardo with a touch, but Johnny is there in support. And why is he just slowing things down and allowing Wolves to get back into their regulation shape?
Yeah, he looks sharp, hasn't he, Neto, down this left-hand side, though. He's looked sharp. And instead, he's probably got the beating of Ricardo down this Wolves left.
There's Kilman turning away from Maddison up towards halfway and trying to switch the play, and a lovely pass out to the feet of Nelson Semedo. What a ball from Max Kilman. Semedo down the line for Traore. Up against Justin, twisting and turning, trying to beat him on the outside to the byline. Hangs his cross deep. It's too deep for Neto. And Jose Perez Got the head of Johnny, but a loose one infield to Moutinho. And Moutinho now to Ruben Neves. Neves to try and hit it, and that was blocked by Chowdhury. It's going to be a handball and a free kick on the edge of the D.
Oh, yeah, referee was right on it.
Well, we all thought João Moutinho was lining up the strike after what happened on Tuesday. He wisely reversed it back infield to his midfield partner. And Neves from that kind of range.
Well, I think this is a decent place now as well, though, isn't it? But they've been positive, haven't they, at times, Wolves? So, look, I tell you what, they've not just let Leicester come at them. So they've took it a little bit to Leicester. Probably not as frequent as they would want, but they've definitely done that. And there is an opportunity, isn't it? You'd think that Neves would be the one looking at this.
Well, Moutinho is stood there, so is Neto. It's pretty much slap bang centre as you look towards the North Bank. Kasper Schmeichel waiting for that wall to be formed, which will be just in front of the penalty spot. So you've got Neves and Neto now as Moutinho has moved away. And Willian, Jose and Moutinho trying to make a nuisance of themselves to the right of the wall as you look towards it. And I think Leicester are going to try and have a man hiding behind the wall to block the low one.
Yeah,
he is lying down. It'll be Ruben Neves to step up, right-footed to lift it. It hits the wall and all did its job, and Johnny Evans clears.
Yeah, never really got it up, did he, Neves? Never really got it up.
Kilman's attempted ball falls blocked by Jose Perez. Ricardo's header in field. Neves was there quickly and he found Neto with a first-time pass, and that's been the difference. Wolves have really hunted as a midfield pair and got into things and forced Leicester into errors.
Well, they have, but also as well, as I touched on earlier, so the closer to them, the closer they're actually in contact to actually get a challenge in where they weren't in that first half against Arsenal. At least they're getting there and causing a problem for Leicester.
Neves trying to switch the play. Neto's done brilliantly to keep the ball in because it was a long way behind him. And now Cody trying to switch it back to the other side. Intercepted by the head of James Justin before it could reach Traore. Neves dropping back. Get hold of the ball and play it backwards towards Dendoncker. Iheanacho's trying to block a route to Patricio. Dendoncker turning to his right. Now coming back onto his left and trying to clear only as far as Tillemans up early towards Iheanacho. Support from Barnes. Barnes being forced backwards by Ruben Neves. To Justin, now to Chowdhury. So it's that element of Wolves players reading the game a little bit better.
Yeah.
We haven't seen from them in certain weeks. It's been proactive rather than reactive.
Yeah, well, we said that any victory gives you confidence, and they definitely have got a bit of confidence back in the play.
Lovely from Johnny again to turn away from his man and then go down the line. Found Neto's trying to insist to the officials that it should be a Wolves throw. We'll go Leicester's way, just on the edge of Brendan Rodgers' technical area. We've got about 6 minutes plus time added on to go until the end of the first half. Kilman reading the danger, stepping in. Neves playing it back though. Patricio out of his penalty area will leave it for Dendoncker. So much more assured as part of a back three, Max Kilman.
Yeah. Again, I do like him. I like the way he plays.
Dendoncker's switch hit is behind Johnny.
Yeah, he's done well in the games that I've seen. He's looked composed on the ball. I know he had a bit of a rough time against Arsenal in that first half, but that's probably been the first time I have seen him unsettled.
Johnny intercepting. Moutinho on halfway. Looked like he was caught. Martin Atkinson agrees.
It's just one of them, you'll take it.
Just brings a lovely balance to Wolves this, because Kilman the left footer, Johnny right footer on the outside of him, but Johnny able to push high and push infield as well, which is another element that I'd say they've missed about his play, his ability to join in the attacks, because it's allowing Neto to go and drift at the minute.
But I think he's a better defender though, isn't he, as well? In positional sense with everything he does.
Ricardo, Neves stepping in. Right old scrap for the ball. Willian Jose coming and helping out, and now trying to switch it. And what a good pass to pick out Traore. Semedo has already run past him. Ball down the line, looking for the run of Semedo. Chowdhury will get a cross in front of him and shepherded out of play for a Leicester throw.
Yeah, that was just a shame. They never really got hold of it. It's a good play by Willian. Again, just to play it out to that right-hand side, but we never really had full control of the ball. It seemed it was always just getting away from them.
Tillemans on the edge of his penalty area. Low across it for Ricardo. Neto closing in. He's forced Leicester just to give possession back to Wolves. Matinho infield to Neves in the centre circle.
We just saw that there where he just touched on it, forced to give Wolves the ball. We're nowhere near that in the last few games, have we? At least it's encouraging to actually see that.
Johnny back to Kilman. Able to try and hold off his man, and he will get the free kick.
Yeah, he's just caught him, hasn't he? He's just stepped to the side of him. He's just caught him.
So the wind is rippling underneath the mosaic on the South Bank that makes it look like the fans who've got their pictures in that mosaic are doing a Mexican wave.
Take anything getting behind the team on it.
Although Christina in Wisconsin's been in touch and says, stop complaining about the weather effectively. It's minus 24 Celsius there.
Oh, that is a little bit cold, isn't it?
Here's Tillemans. On to Jose Perez on the right-hand side for Leicester. Kilman drawn out to try and deal with him. A low one in towards Iheanacho, who teased it for Maddison, who strikes it. But strikes it straight down the throat of the waiting Rui Patricia.
Yes, again, it's like just Semedo just getting that ball away again, isn't it? It's got to stay better down that right-hand side. We're doing well down this left hand with Johnny and Neto. Neto's gone into the centre a little bit more now. But we've just got to try and get it to stick a little bit better.
Kilman winning the battle with Iheanacho. Rather slices his clearance out of play. Leicester with a throw. We have under 3 minutes of the 45 left to play. Wolves 0, Leicester 0. In terms of form and in terms of the league table, these two teams shouldn't have been so closely matched, but we've known over recent seasons that they are very much so.
Yeah, they are. So there's never been a great deal between the two of them, has there? And it just shows you how much there's not that much between the top teams and the middle of the table teams either.
Semedo doing well to hold off Barnes. Neves infield to Matinho in the centre circle. Knew Maddison was arriving. Found Neves. Wide for Traore, midway inside the Leicester half. Traore turning to go back on the outside, away from Barnes. Trying to get his cross, it'll deflect infield to Semedo. Now to Neves, back to Dendoncker. To Cody, just short of the base of the centre circle. Under pressure from Iheanacho. To his right-hand side to Dendoncker, closed down by Maddison. Dendoncker on a little bit of a dribble, back to Cody.
Well, we said about him being comfortable with the ball. He's done it 2 or 3 times in this first half, hasn't he? Dendoncker, where if it's not on, he's not just one of those who's just going to put his foot through it. He wants to play.
Here he is again, and he's trying to find the feet of Willian Jose, who was trying to flick it wide first time. Yeah. A very tight challenge in on him. Martin Atkinson was happy enough with it. Leicester with possession again.
Yeah, I think both of the players, the Leicester and the Wolves player, they were just getting about the same time to the ball. Yeah, so he didn't make a massive meal of it, did he, William?
Soyuncu. Johnny Evans just bent over for a second there and hobbling a little bit as Soyuncu plays the ball back to him.
Was he the one? I think he was the one who made the challenge, wasn't he, on William? So I think they both come into it about the same time.
Soyuncu on the edge of his own penalty area to Chowdhury. Back to Soyuncu, now inside his own box. Willian Jose closing in. And again, it's forced just a long clearance forwards that Dendoncker can win in the air and nod it down to Matinho. And that's very clever play by Wolves.
It is. And again, if you're putting pressure on the ball, you can hold the line. And that's the beauty of it. You've got to drop if you don't put any pressure on the ball. And Wolves definitely put the pressure on there to give them the ball back.
Kilman, infield to Matinho, just to the left of the centre circle. Low across it for Dendoncker. Over the halfway line comes the Belgian. Tried to find Semedo, the sliding challenge of Chowdhury. Sent the ball to Traore, who's trying to go on the outside of Justin. And now trying to cut back infield, twisting again back on the outside. And Traore with an excellent run, trying to pull it back. It comes to Neves on the edge of the penalty area. trying to find Semedo, and Semedo's gone over. Oh, and Martin Atkinson.
He went to blow.
He put his whistle to his lips and then decided against it. And Maddison can try and carry it forwards. And Neves catching Maddison late. We play on because Iheanacho goes in field to Barnes. And still Leicester carrying forwards. And in the end, Barnes is closed in, blocked off, and Leicester will get a free kick. And there's a yellow card coming for Ruben Neves for the earlier challenge on James Maddison.
Yeah, well, I wonder if VAR will have a look at that decision. He went to blow the whistle, didn't he? Martin Atkins, so look, you could see that he was thinking about it. Oh, they've just gone to the Maddison one.
We're in added time at the end of the first half. Neves sliding in.
Yeah, Maddison's just looking for Neves coming there.
Wasn't a huge amount of contact.
No, that's what I'm saying. You could see him just having a glance at we're just watching that Semedo one again.
Hard to tell from that kind of angle.
It is.
João Moutinho was protesting, but Nelson Semedo didn't seem to protest himself, so might tell a bit of the story.
Well, I'm just looking at this set play, and they've got 2 players at the back post who are free. I'm just saying it only takes one of them just to block them off.
It's going to be Maddison to whip in the free kick. Cody's headed to the edge of the box. Moutinho bringing it down and trying to find Neto, and that's the final action of the first half. And what a fascinating first half it was. Leicester dominating in terms of possession, but Wolves crafting the better opportunities. One fell to Ruben Neves and hit it on the volley from inside the penalty area. He had a shot from outside the box that was blocked by Hamza Chowdhury's arm that led to a free kick that was smashed into the wall. Wolves have put some decent balls into the penalty area. Adama Traore benefiting from excellent work by Pedro Neto down the left-hand side, and it drew a superb block by James Justin to send the ball behind for a Wolves corner. Wolves have been sharp. They've been energetic. They've used the ball well. That's a decent first 45 minutes.
Well, I think so as well. I think that you've touched on a couple of things there about them being sharp and snapping at challenges. And the only reason for that is because they're a lot closer to the Leicester players. They're competing with the Leicester players, but also as well, they've definitely took the game to them. I think Neto down this left-hand side has created a few good opportunities. He just hasn't been able to find his target. But again, if I was Wolves, I'd be pretty happy with the way that things have gone. Apart from, say, like, not probably creating a load of chances. Because Traore down that right-hand side, I'd like to see a little bit more. I think Neto has been a problem for Leicester down this left-hand side. But they're definitely up for this game. They're definitely competing with Leicester, who are one of the top sides.
Well, we're going to take a break, and then we'll get more from Tomo. And we'll also hear from Ikeme and Chris Iwelumo here on Matchday Live Extra. At half-time at Molineux, it's Wolves 0, Leicester 0.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
The Old Goal Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molineux on a few occasions, and I'd never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those 2 games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in for me, and even more so when after having a tough first 4 or 5 months that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Goal Club, My Golden Game, available now.
Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Jimenez! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
The volley over the goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Half-time at Molineux then, Wolves 0, Leicester 0, but a fascinating game. So far it remains goalless. Carl Ikeme, what did you make of that first period?
Yeah, it's been an interesting half. I think we probably knew that Leicester would probably have the majority of possession, but Wolves have had the better chances. So I think we can improve. I'm not saying that we're all of a sudden going to be a possession-based team, but I just think we could have a little bit more quality, especially coming out from the back, finding them passes to the full-backs and Traore at times as well. I feel like just a little bit more quality in our passing play at times, but it's been interesting. Leicester look threatening as well, but I do feel we had the better chances. And also, I'd like to see that incident at the end, because I'd like to see it a bit more slow down, because I thought he clipped Tomido as well. So yeah, tight half, tight game. I think we kind of expected it to be quite even.
I'll go from back to front just on that incident. I think Harvey Barnes actually wasn't aware of Tomido there and just came to touch the ball. He did clip him, but he's got the ball, I think, at the exact same time. So I don't know how you want to weigh that up. So he did put the referee, Martin Atkinson, did put the whistle to his mouth. I've been I think we've seen a lot more of the ball than what I thought. Possessions, it's 45-55, obviously in Leicester's favour. There's many positives to take out. I think Neto has been outstanding. You know, I think that end product, we all know what he's about, but again, seeing the pass, can William Jose get in front of his man? That one that he's whipped across, just get a little touch on it, it's in the back of the net. You know, the one that he's cut back from Traore, I know that he's took the shot first time, but James Justin, who I think is Marshall Traore, the best competition I've seen up against Traore. Traore just, if he takes a touch, he's opened the full goal. James Justin's already completely committed himself there. But again, I just think a little bit more quality down that right side. You know, Tomido and Traore. I think Traore can come in a little bit more. He's trying to go to the line too much, and I think James Justin's comfortable with that. So take him out of his comfort zone a little bit. I think again, Neves picking up things at the edge of the box, taking shots on from there. I think we're a threat. You know, at the back side of things, I think Connor Cody. I feel that Kilman and Dendoncker. I maybe get a little bit too close to Cody, and I don't understand why. When Cody's in good possession of the ball, we can be a little bit more expansive. I don't know if that's just making sure because the way that Leicester are pressing, they've got the likes of Perez and Iniacho just coming together with a two. So maybe Dendoncker and Kilman are just trying to kind of protect in case it does go wrong. But again, just be fluent, believe in what we're about. So a lot of positives to take out of that half. And I think probably your scoreline's going to probably do it again, Mikey.
No, don't say that, Looms.
Well, from a Wolves Foundation point of view, I kind of hope not, but obviously we'll take any kind of victory any which way it comes. One of the things that Tomo and I were touching on, Tomo, in that first half is that Wolves just look so much more kind of on it in this game from the start. They're snapping away into challenges. They're reading issues and they're making a lot more interceptions and they're forcing Leicester into mistakes, aren't they?
Well, I think it's the starting position for Wolves. I think we're like 5 yards probably closer than we were the other night against Arsenal. I think that we, at least when the ball is played to, we're snapping at them. We actually can put in a challenge where against Arsenal in that first half, we're 5-10 yards too deep for me to get near them. At least they're putting that challenge in or been able to put that challenge in and they've done well out of it because they've ended up turning the game over, and they've been on the counter attack. And again, that's what you want to see from the team. Get closer into them, make it difficult for Leicester, because we know that if we give them too much space, they're going to start picking us off. And I think that we have competed against them in that first half. We saw Maddison, the position that he's in. He's either going up against the front line or he's just dropping into that number 10 role where we made it difficult. But I think we've done reasonably well against him. But it was a good first half for me. I say it's nice to see that we actually competing against Leicester, who are a good team. And it just shows you that we aren't far off getting back up to where we need to be.
Just on the back of that, sorry, Leicester try and play out all the time. And I just feel that obviously the reports come back. And if you set up, and like you say, we are a little bit higher, we're on the front foot, we're anticipating it, but there has been some great interceptions. It's like allowing them to play and then going together. Leicester do have the quality to play through it, but if you put the press on really well, that's when you get interceptions in the right areas as well. So Tom was spot on there, but I just think from what I've seen over the last 2-3 weeks, the reports are definitely coming back, and Nuno's set them up, maybe with that in mind when he looks at the personnel that he's got. But there's so many positives to take out of it. You know, players that are getting on the ball and driving and making things happen. I think Neto's been outstanding that first half.
Yeah, I think we've compressed the pitch really well as well, haven't we? From what Jono what Tomo and Looms were saying, we're compressing the pitch, making it as small as possible. I think it'd be interesting when Vardy comes on to see if we will drop a little bit deeper, but I think compressing the pitch is giving us chances to win the ball as well. We're letting them have it to a certain degree at the back, and then we are really snapping when it's time. I think in the first few minutes, I think I seen Johnny go right tight in on Maddison, right in the centre circle. So we do look good out of possession, and hopefully we can just get that little bit of quality to get the goal in the second half.
Just as a point on Johnny, because I think he's done brilliantly on his first game back for not having kicked a ball in anger in 6 months. Just to note that Kiana Hoover has just come out to warm up in the second half, and he's kind of down to just his training top, if that makes sense. So there's no kind of tracksuit or big coat on, and Antonio Diaz, the fitness coach, is out there with him as well, which would suggest that he's going to come on at half time, or if not, very soon after half time, which I guess we would have all expected, right? Because Johnny's not played for 6 months.
Well, I'd say definitely, but that double block, it had me wincing. Did you see that, gentlemen? Yeah. Oh my goodness. He was stretching his groins and everything after that for the next 5-10 minutes. But yeah, you know what? He's been excellent. And it's just one of them. You have to be very careful. It's a great 45 minutes. That he'll feel that tomorrow, the day after. So again, it's just good man management, taking the player off when he's not running him into the ground, and I think it's the wise thing to do.
Also,
do you think that he might change Semedo with Hoover? Because being more of a defender as such, because that's where their attacks have come from, then that left hand side mainly.
Well, I think Semedo can give us more. I'll be honest, I think he can give us more. You know, I think that relationship, there's been a couple of opportunities that I felt that he could have put Traore in with that pass down the line, and he's got the full half to run into. And we try and overplay sometimes. But I just, like you say, I think Nuno, there will be an eye on Johnny. No matter, Johnny will come in at half time and say, you know what, I'm feeling great, fine. But you just got to be careful. Like you said, he's not played a minute of competitive football. So also, I think that'd be the wise thing to do.
Sorry, Limbs. Also, you'd prefer him to have the warm-up before the start of the game. He's been out for a long time. Have a proper warm-up, play 45 minutes, then necessarily come on 30 minutes to go, not quite warm, and that's when an injury can take place as well. So maybe that was in their thoughts as well. We'll get 45 minutes, we'll get an actual warm-up out of him so he's ready to go, and then we'll take him off if we feel like we need to.
Okay, we will see with interest how much longer Johnny lasts in this game, but it's been great to see him back out there, and it just provides that element of balance, doesn't it, that really works. And Steve Ball has just brought me out a blanket, boys, to see me through for the second half.
Where's Tomo? He's not got you on Tomo.
I've got my hot blanket, mate, already.
Oh, mate, honestly, my knees are completely frozen. It is, as you can see, why I've spent half time like this.
Yeah, I've already got mine, mate. I've already got mine.
It's not just by request of Carl Ikeme that I cover my face.
Mate, that's why you're on the big bucks, Mikey. Days like this.
Boys, hopefully there's plenty to come from Wolves in the second half, and they will warm us up with their performance. Thank you very much, Carl Ikeme and Chris Iwelumo. More from the boys. Don't go anywhere. More from Tomo and more from this Wolves lineup in just a couple of minutes here on Matchday Live Extra.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
The Old Goal Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molineux on a few occasions, and I'd never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those two games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Julian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in from England, and even more so when, after having a tough first 4 or 5 months, that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Goal Club, My Golden Game, available now.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
So just waiting for all the Leicester players to make their way down the steps from the Sir Jack Hayward suite to rejoin us for the second half. Confirmation that Kiana Hoover is coming on at half-time, and it is Johnny who he is replacing. So an excellent first 45 minutes back from Johnny. It's been an awful long time since we've seen him in that Wolves shirt, and it was lovely to get him back out there and hopefully building more from him. Tomo's going to rearrange his heated blanket. I've got my Steve Bull blanket from the boardroom. What a legend that guy is. I mean, I know he scored a lot of goals and everything.
He scored a couple, didn't he? He scored a couple.
But he's gone up in my estimations.
What do you mean he's brought your coffee out before? He says he's bringing your blankets now.
He's just such a great guy. If the roles were reversed, I don't think we'd be getting Andy Thompson coming out.
Oh, without doubt, mate. I'd look after you. I'd look after you, mate.
You'd be sending me pictures from the boardroom. That's what you'd be doing. Right. We are 30 seconds into the second half. And Kiana Hoover has gone to play as the left wing back, by the way. Semedo staying on the right. We'll see how that progresses. Then Donker, Cody and Kilman, the defensive three. Patricio in goal. Neves, Matinho in midfield. Traore, Willian, Jose and Neto up top. As Cody's done well to block off Maddison. Neves' clearance, blocked by Tillemans, goes high in the air. Blocked by Jose Perez, I should say, as Dendoncker wins it in the air. Finds Traore. It'll be interesting to see how Leicester go about playing this second period as Kiana Hoover goes driving at speed over the halfway line, just about keeps his footing. Wide to Neto with an early one in towards Willian Jose. Soyuncu with a touch to it, sends it high into the air. And Neves penalised for his challenge.
Yeah, needs to be careful, Neves, doesn't he, on the booking?
Kilman up against Iheanacho. Cody across to cover. Schmeichel in goal for Leicester. Back four from left to right of Justin, Soyuncu, Evans and Ricardo. Barnes and Jose Perez are their wide players. Maddison behind Iheanacho up top and Chowdhury and Tillemans in the midfield. There's Kilman. Got an awkward one back there by Hoover, but stretched out those long legs. Cross for Dendoncker. Up towards halfway. Wolves attacking the south bank this second half. Traore being shown in field. Now looking back out wide. Semedo is there for him. He'll pass it in field to Moutinho. Moutinho trying to switch the play out towards Hoover. He's got control of it. Ricardo across to him. It'll be a Wolves throw.
Yeah, so look, it'll be interesting. So look, Hoover down that left-hand side, but already you've seen the confidence that he's got. And so hopefully he'll be linking up like Johnny did with Neto.
Hoover. Throw finds Willian Jose. Infield to Neves. Neves trying to switch the play. What a good pass to find the feet of Traore. Right inside of the penalty area. Traore cutting back, trying to tee up Neves to hit it on the curl. And he got the right whip on it. It just didn't quite get the dip.
Now, can I just say as well, it's nice to see him in that advanced position around about the box and in the box where he's had a couple of chances. He's hit them both over, and he's had one blocked. But so, like, it's nice to see because for me, he should be scoring a lot more goals. Remember him in the Championship, the goals that he scored, and that's what we want to see from him.
By the way, Chowdhury went flying out with his arm up again. That'll be something to keep an eye on. You get a little bit closer, get him in the penalty area doing that.
Yeah.
It'll lead to a Wolves penalty. There have been 10 penalties in Wolves games so far this season in the 22 matches in the Premier League before this one.
It's two from these, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, 2 for Leicester, yeah.
Well, hopefully
one scored, one missed.
Yeah, hopefully they don't replicate it and get some more.
Well, maybe Wolves should get 2.
Yeah,
so even things up.
Yeah.
Traore.
That's got to be a yellow card,
Pulled
isn't it?
down by Harvey Barnes.
Well, I'm surprised that's not been a yellow card. He actually grabbed hold of him.
Traore setting off again, and he just leaves Barnes for dead and up against Justin. He's going to cross it early this time, and Johnny Evans with the header away.
That's what I'm saying. You haven't necessarily got to beat your player, and he just showed it there. So he got 3 up against him. Somebody's just gone past Barnes. That's what I'm saying. I'm watching the challenge by Barnes, the one what he's brought him down. I don't understand that that's not a booking. He's grabbed hold of him.
Yeah, grabbed hold of his arm.
He mustn't have put enough Vaseline on it. That's real.
Semedo trying to go past Justin and bundles into the back of him. Leicester free kick down by their own corner flag. I did ask the question for someone recently about what it is that they actually put on his arm.
Is it baby oil or Vaseline?
I'm told it's a common household lubricant, but we don't actually want to let people know exactly what it is.
Okay.
We don't want other teams to know exactly what it is. It's not that we don't want the fans to know, but we don't want other teams to know.
Oh.
Which is one of those where, I mean, everybody knows that it's what happens. You can see his arms greased up.
Well, they're shining.
Yeah, maybe it's just a good moisturising routine. Who knows?
But look, if it works for him, I don't mind. If it works for him.
Semedo, one of the...
Oh, cheers.
Dendoncker with a heavy touch. Semedo rather did fire it back
I was
at him.
going to say, from about 2 or 3 yards, it said, like, deal with that kind of thing.
One of Wolves' soft tissue therapists are the men responsible for applying whatever it is they apply to Traore.
Trade secret, mate. Trade secret.
Either Matt Wignall or Danny Fisher. Part of the Wolves' backroom staff. And Soyuncu trying to play a long straight one. Semedo's header goes in field. He'll drop towards Iheanacho. Kilman's challenge.
Brilliant defending.
Oh, Neves with a lovely early pass to Traore. Chowdhury is the man back with him. Traore driving forwards, infield towards Neves, and the sliding challenge came in.
Not fell? How's that
from
not a
Jose
foul?
Perez. Semedo trying to win it back.
Well, I don't understand how it's not a foul on Traore. He's waved advantage, and it's only a pass later. Leicester have got the ball.
Moutinho to switch the play. Out to the left-hand side to Neto. Hoover out wide of him. Neto with a couple of step-overs, cutting in field, lining up a shot from distance, blocked by Chowdhury. Moutinho first time to Neves. Wide out to the left-hand side to Hoover. trying to cross with his right foot, deflects off Ricardo, and it's a Wolves throw.
Yeah, at least Traore's trying to get in there rather than just William. So look, and that's what it's going to be. He's got to make sure that he just gets in there, just to offer some kind of support in there, just to keep the Leicester players occupied, because they've got 3 against 1. Leicester in there.
Semedo back to Dendoncker, just inside his own half to Cody. 52.5 minutes played at Molineux, still 0-0. Dendoncker finding the feet of Semedo, who thought Traore had set off down the line. He hadn't. He'd actually come short, and the two apologised to each other.
I think he's flicking it out off just. I was going to say, I didn't think he was going to run over the line.
Just behind for a goal kick. So all the eyes from the TV cameras on Jamie Vardy warming up. David Roll waking up to minus 15 degrees Celsius temperatures outside and another round of snow starting. I think he's in Gallatin, Missouri. So quite a few in America. With no sympathy for me and Tomo sat here.
No.
Soyuncu for Tielemans. Midway inside his own half, trying to lift it early towards Justin. Justin has kept it in and is driving on towards Semedo, up towards the edge of the box, infield to Maddison. Carries the ball back wide, finds Barnes. Barnes trying to lift a cross in. Cody well positioned to clear. Chowdhury, that was a heavy touch, and Traore has managed to nick it from him. And Traore now trying to drive at Soyuncu, stepped across crudely. And that will be a yellow card.
I'll tell you what, he's appealing his innocence, but you could see him straight away. That's what he was going to do, his intention straight away. And we've spoke about the things what they do to him as well. It's that blatant, which well played by Traore there. It's on his bad touch, Chowdhury.
Well, he knew he was in trouble, didn't he, Soyuncu?
Yeah, look at him, he just barges into him. And then he's pleading his innocence with his hands out. No chance. Yeah, no intention of going for the ball.
Well, that's both of Leicester's centre-halves on yellow cards now. Martinho getting set to try and whip this ball in. Neto, Willian Jose, Kilman and Dendoncker are the targets on the edge of the Leicester penalty area. Traore and Semedo are not far away, but Martinho is going to put this into the penalty area. Didn't quite beat the first man. A Jose Perez header goes high in the air. Traore's touch is going to drop to Tielemans. He's managed to evade Neto's challenge and find Maddison, who switches it back out to the right side to Ricardo, and Wolves a little bit stretched, a lot of space for Ricardo to carry the ball forwards. Now looking infield, Neves with a great sliding challenge. Comes back to Tielemans, infield to Maddison, who just gets the better of Cody, tries to strike it, took a little deflection, I think off Dendoncker, and through to Rui Patricio.
Yeah, he did well though, didn't he? So look, Connor Cody initially just to put something on him.
Well, Justin, how has he managed to backheel that to Soyuncu?
He was stumbling, wasn't he? I thought for a second Willian's going to get there. And so he's stumbling, Justin.
10 minutes played at the start of the second half. Barnes to Chowdhury. Out to the left-hand side to Justin. Back to Hamza Chowdhury. I don't think it'll be long before Leicester make a change as the ball goes up towards Iheanacho. No. Kilman did well. Waited for the ball to drop and poked out his right foot to clear. Hoover thought he won the throw. It's given Leicester's way.
I know it's the other side of the pitch, but I thought he'd come off the Leicester player's foot.
Well, the referee looked at his assistant. The assistant looked at the referee. The referee said, all right, we'll give that to Leicester. There's Martinho. Middle of the half. Being shown towards the Wolves' right. Switching it for Semedo. Space to carry the ball, but he'll feed it short to Traore. Up against Justin. Nobody wants to come and help out Justin this time. And Traore is going to knock it round the outside of him and continue on here. Adama Traore, low one in. Oh, Neto was arriving. Didn't get a sweet connection, and Chowdhury puts it behind for a corner.
Oh, it's a great play from Traore, wasn't it? Great play. And that's what you want to see from your wingers, driving forward. And he's just done it there. Great ball in as well. Yeah, so the pace of it, I think that he's already gone in there, Neto. He just can't get the direction right. But it's great play from Traore.
Oh. Unplayable, Adama Traore there.
Yeah, I was just watching Nuno. He's absolutely jumping up and down on the replay. But that's what you want to see from Traore. So look, it's just the power that he's got and the pace, it cause anybody a problem.
Neto's corner, left-footed from the right-hand side, hanging high to the far post. Moutinho was coming round at the far stick, and it came off a Leicester head for another corner.
Well, he just set himself up for a volley, wasn't he, Moutinho? He thought he was going to carry to him.
Well, he waited 55 games for his third Wolves goal. And now he's gone sniffing all over.
Well, see, it's confidence for you. What, you think you can score every week now?
Not the biggest man on the park, but he's clearly thought, I'll get in there at the far post. I'll have a bit of that. He's going to take the corner himself, this time right-footed from the left-hand side. He's going to go short to Hoover. Teed back up to Moutinho, but it was short. And he allowed the sliding challenge to come in, and Wolves will get a throw.
So they did it a couple of times in the first half, didn't they, that corner? And so it did come in. Just a little bit too much. No, well, not too much pace on the ball back to Moutinho. Didn't carry to him from Hoover.
Hoover to Moutinho, blocked off by Jose Perez again. Another Wolves throw. It's been forced back a couple more yards. 58 minutes played at Molineux, and Fabio Silva might be coming on relatively shortly. He was out warming up with Hoover at half-time, and he's been called back.
Yeah, I think they're making a change as well. All Brighton, I think, coming on for Leicester.
Hoover's throw. He's thrown it rather wildly in field, and Barnes got there first. But a good foot by Neto. Willian Jose trying to hold the play up. Now finding Moutinho. Infield to Neves. Neves to his right-hand side. Oh, it's just a bit too far ahead of Semedo, but he's got to it. Pulls it back to Neto, just inside the penalty area. Backwards to Dendoncker. One touch. Now trying to lift his cross in. Headed away by Evans. Jose Perez on the turn, and he's got away from both Neves and Moutinho. And now Maddison up to Iheanacho. Iheanacho through the middle of the Wolves half. Closed down by Kilman. Tillemans nearly stood on the ball. Wolves trying to get themselves back in their defensive shape. Jose Perez trying to drive on. Rather ran into Kilman. Ball comes to Maddison. Infield to Barnes. Nobody to his left-hand side for Leicester. Has to go to the right. First of all to Maddison. Now further out to the touchline. Will come infield towards Jose Perez. Blocked off by Kilman. And then Neves with a foot in. And now Traore wants to set off at speed here. And he's got Neto out to the right-hand side. And Traore, well, he tried to wriggle his way through too.
Here. He's got to come here, hasn't he? To Neto. He's going in the right direction. Once he's come back inside, and let Tillemans coming back and win that ball.
There's Ricardo down the Leicester right. There's going to be a double change. Albrighton and Vardy coming on. Tillemans lifting it on. Ricardo's continued his run, and across came
that's a foul.
Dendoncker, and he will get the free kick. Bravely stuck his head in there.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's going to be a change from both sides.
So Iheanacho off, and Vardy is on.
Now he's a player who plays right on the shoulder, Vardy. They need to be careful of it, what they're doing. Little balls forward. Yeah, so just watching that replay and foul again.
Jose Perez is the man off for Mark Albrighton.
Well, he's in no rush to go off, is he? I don't think he'll be too happy.
And it's Willian Jose that is being replaced by Fabio Silva.
Just getting back to Traore, I think that he's going to be key in the rest of this game, Traore. So I think that he's going to be that important to making sure that Wolves try and get something out of this game, and hopefully the 3 points. But they've got to be careful now. Vardy coming on. With his goal scoring record, you know, he just plays on that last man all the time.
Willian Jose just maybe looked a little bit more tired today.
Well, he's only just coming to the country, hasn't he? He's only just coming to the side, and again, it's a lot for coming straight here. And again, initially you got that adrenaline that gets you going, but coming into a different country, playing different football, it's going to take its toll.
Here comes Traore. And James Maddison with a very naughty challenge.
See, I think things like that, where it's blatant and there's no intention of going for the ball, I think it should be more severe than a yellow card.
Yeah,
that's two we've had now.
Traore was setting off through the middle, and arguably there is recourse within the rules to To go back and call that as a red card.
I think that's an awful thing. It's that blatant. It's unbelievable. And I don't think they should be allowed to do it because at the end of the day, there's no intention at all of going for the ball. He's nowhere near the ball.
I remember it might have been in an FA Cup tie against Swansea here, where Renato Sanchez was sent off for something pretty similar. Martinho lifting in the free kick. Soyuncu's header. Chowdhury didn't get there. Semedo trying to make sure it is his. He's forced a little bit wider out towards the corner flag. Nelson Semedo's trying to get his cross. It deflects backwards to Traore. And Traore's cross hits Chowdhury. And here's a corner.
Again, say, haven't got to beat your man. If you've got a chance to put it in, good angle, try and put it in there. He's got that deflection for a Wolves corner.
Again, we talk about VAR and you wonder whether they're in Martin Atkinson's ear and saying, you know, look, there was absolutely no intention to play the ball by James Maddison.
Yeah, it's like, say, he's just intentionally just kicked the player.
Neto's corner, left-footed from the right-hand side, played short to Semedo. Back to Neto, who will lift his cross, hides the far post. Kilman was in there challenging. Traore nearly dropped to him. And it's Vardy who just swipes his foot at it and clears it out of play for a Wolves throw midway inside the Leicester half.
Yeah, good quality in from Neto. And again, they've done that corner a couple of times and it's worked pretty well. So the one where they're close together, usually on the corner, I don't think has worked as good. But that one a little bit further away with the ball to be set, I think is a lot better.
Semedo with the throw. 63.5 minutes played. Wolves 0, Leicester 0. Wolves have dictated things a little bit more second half, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. They've definitely been the team on the front foot, haven't they? They've asked a few more questions of Leicester.
Neves out to the left-hand side to Hoover. Back in field to Kilman. Now to Neves, just over halfway. Cody inside the centre circle. Wanted to play it wide. It was blocked off, so he'll go to Neves, who will feed it out to the feet of Hoover. Midway inside the half. Infield to Neto. Neto turning and starting off on a little bit of a dribble and going wide of Ricardo again. And
just leant on him, didn't he?
Oh, he looked like he was caught there as he went to cross it, Pedro Neto. And that was certainly his appeals to Martin Atkinson.
I think Ricardo's just leant on him as he's just going to kick the ball. He's just leant into him. There you go. Just leans into him. Yeah. Well, you've seen fouls given for less.
Drive on.
Yeah, I was going to say, again, he's nowhere near the ball.
Well, Ricardo at the other end is driving forwards for Leicester. Across comes Martinho with a foot in, and Neves with a lovely bit of skill to lift it over the head of Tillemans. And now wide out that left-hand side to Neto. And Fabio Silva's racing to join the attack. And it's Neto driving on, and he pulls it to the edge of the box. And it's João Martinho who curls it. And he got underneath it and lifted it over the top of the crossbar. And he's fuming with himself because it was a glorious opportunity for 2-2.
Yeah, he's got time and space, hasn't he? Oh, he's probably too close. That's what it was. It's 20 yards out. It's probably too close to shoot. But yeah, he'd be annoyed with himself because you can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to pick out that top corner, isn't he? He's trying to place it rather than power. But again, it's a good opportunity created by Neto.
It's that element of hitting the target.
Yeah.
And forcing Kasper Schmeichel into the save. He hasn't been able to do with that effort. Approaching 66 minutes played at Molineux. And ball dissects both Justin and Barnes. Wolves throw.
Been better this second half, haven't they? So like they've been more confident. They've definitely pushed Leicester back a little bit more. But they've still got to be so careful without the counter-attack with Maddison and now Vardy on as well.
Traore. Semedo actually took it off him. Came off Barnes. Wolves throw. Alan is listening in to us with spiced rum in his coffee. In the warm. Says, sorry, lads. Helen wants Martin Atkinson to move out of the way. Reckons he's impeding some of our attacks. At Kaching, sitting in the office in Baghdad. I bet that's warmer than here. Neves flicking it back towards halfway. Well, Harvey Barnes getting the better of him this time, though. Driving deep into the Wolves' half, but Hoover was there to help out. And he
play feet.
Rush of blood to the head, just clearing.
Yeah, he played his feet there, couldn't he? Just fell for him, nice Hoover. just play it to Neto's feet.
Gary Smith watching from a warm sofa in Lincoln. Ice cold, but only in his cider. Madison lifting it forwards towards Vardy's run. Kilman will get across in front of him.
Well defended. Well defended by him. Well, Neves has stayed down, hasn't he? He must have got caught from that challenge. Is it Ricardo? On his ankle.
Hopefully he's okay, because he has been in impressive form so far this afternoon.
I think he's falling over, isn't he, Ricardo?
Simon Kirby.
Yeah, he's just got his ankle just trapped underneath him.
Simon Kirby is sat in the warm drinking Irish coffee. Sam the Brighton Wolf, can you shout out to the babies? 2-1 to Wolves. Shout out to Carl and Eddie, chilling literally in Brighton. So the freezing breeze here at Molineux as we approach the 70-minute mark. So 68 minutes, still goalless. Big high crossfield ball from Soyuncu, nodded down by Hoover. Neto lifting it forwards. Fabio Silva will give chase. Soyuncu back to Kasper Michael.
Yeah, been a bit sloppy in the last couple of times, and we just give the ball away. There's no pressure on Neto that time. Hoover just before that. Can't afford to keep getting the ball back to Leicester.
Evans clearing. Down to the right side to Albrighton. Is crossing from deep, and Semedo having to get there and help it on its way with its head. And it'll be a Leicester throw out by the left-hand corner flag as they attack the north bank.
Well, there wasn't much more he could do. Semedo just bounced up. He didn't know where Barnes was. He was able just to get a little touch on it or glance on it, just to go out for the throw-in.
Justin with the throw in towards Madison. Back to Justin. And then fouled by João Moutinho. Leicester may just feel like they've weathered the storm a little bit.
Yeah, well, they've started to edge themselves into it through a couple of little errors from Wolves. Giving the ball away cheaply. Again, giving away a free kick in an area that you shouldn't be.
Madison pacing this out. Second half, Wolves have been dominating possession. 5 efforts on goal, but none on target. Madison with the free kick. 2-man wall blocking the route to the near post.
I don't like that where Vardy is and Barnes and Chowdhury.
It's Madison to whip it across the near post, headed away by Semedo. Moutinho flicking the ball out further wide right to Neto's set off at speed up towards halfway, and Madison played the ball off him, and it'll be a Leicester throw. James Justin having words with Nuno as he came to get the ball from him.
He's just holding on to the ball, wasn't he, Nuno?
He's a brave guy. Evans out to the right-hand side to Ricardo. Back in field to Albrighton. Ricardo again, trying to set off at speed. Fabio Silva tracking back with him. Albrighton infield to Tillemans. Now to Chowdhury, just under the centre circle. To the left-hand side to Justin. He's shown infield by Neto. Chowdhury across the centre circle for Evans. Back inside it to Soyuncu. 1-2 with Tillemans, and now Chowdhury takes over. Trying to find Madison. Back to the right-hand side, just outside the centre circle to Evans, who tries to hit a long diagonal that Cody can nod down to Neves from the edge of the box. Kilman for Fabio Silva to Hoover. Now Max Kilman again, trying to lift it forwards. Traore is effectively the central striker at the minute, and Neves bringing it down, just undercooked his pass, and Justin intercepted. Moutinho digging in with an important foot in, and now Neto setting off. Infield to Traore, just over the centre circle. Surely being held on by Tillemans. Martin Atkinson waves play on. Traore then scoops the ball and gives it straight to Justin. I don't see why they don't pull that back there.
No, neither do I.
And then Dendonka penalised for a challenge on Vardy.
We talk about consistency, and the referee, again, I can understand why he's let it go, but he's got to be able to call that back. He's actually wrestling with Traore, and I think Neves is actually raising that point with him. So look, they're becoming more blatant in some of the challenges, Leicester. We've seen a couple of challenges from Leicester which have earned them yellow cards, and also as well, Tielemans there wrestling with him.
There's Chowdhury, just to the halfway on the left-hand Leicester left, midway between the centre circle and the touchline. Playing it back to Soyuncu. 18 minutes left to play at Molineux. Both sides looking for the breakthrough. Evans, infield to Tielemans, trying to turn away from Neves. Switching the play to Harvey Barnes, midway inside the Wolves half. Barnes driving on, Justin on his outside, low one in. It's going to sit up for Barnes, and that's an important block by Max Kilman. What a piece of defending from the youngster. Saw the danger and got his huge frame in the way and made sure that it deflected wide for a Leicester corner.
Well, that's what you can't afford to do. Well, I'm looking here, he's probably offside, Justin. And I'm surprised he wasn't called back because he looked offside when he received the ball. But that's what you can't do. You can't get overloaded on the one side. They're 2 against 1 down this left-hand side. And I think that the reactions of Traore was just a fraction too late for me. So he realised the danger was coming. But you can't afford to do that in this game.
Corner right-footed from the right-hand side. Maddison to try and lift it high towards the far post. Soyuncu got his head to it, but was always backpedaling. And it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, so again, look, it's just got to try and ease themselves into it a little bit more, don't they, Wolves? So Leicester are starting to push a little bit more.
Yeah, the wind continuing to batter us as Dendoncker finds Cody. And there's battering more than just us at the minute. Things are falling over all over the place.
There's a couple of things gone over, I think, isn't it?
Tielemans stepping infield away from Neves, trying to drive through the middle of the Wolves half. Neves getting back in front of him. Tielemans out to the right side toward Brighton, cutting back infield on his left foot, whipping across in. Oh, and it almost came through towards Barnes, and Wolves did just enough to smuggle it away. Danger not fully cleared. Maddison cutting infield, blocked by Moutinho, and the ball's going to bounce to Pedro Neto here, who can set off at speed over the halfway line. Johnny Evans is with him. Neto still carrying it, misses the ball, and it rolls out of play for a Leicester throw.
Yeah, I'd just like, so I know he must be just getting his breath back after chasing back Neto, but I'd love to see him just drive through. Tell you what, good defending from Semedo, I think it was, at the back. Just got something on it to stop Barnes from having a tap in.
Just feels a little bit, doesn't it, like the exertions of the other night as well. It's just beginning to catch up on one or two of those in old gold.
Yeah, so we're quite strong in the beginning of this second half. Just died down a little bit. I'll tell you what I think as well. So I think that some of the challenges that have gone in have just knocked them out the stride a little bit.
There's Moutinho, just turning away from Justin. To Semedo, infield to Neves. Leicester have been sharper, closing down Neves and Moutinho second half, doing what the Wolves pair were doing to Leicester first half. But that's lovely ball by Kilman towards Neto. Chowdhury sliding back in.
Yeah, just got a touch on it, didn't he, Chowdhury? Well
Hoover's won it back though. Early into the feet of Fabio Silva on the turn. Will feed it out to the right-hand side to Traore. Some of Wolves' best attacks have come from Traore on this right-hand side. He tries to force his way through the middle. Moutinho for Semedo. Semedo left-footed, low one, drilling it just wide. Took a deflection on its way, though. It's a Wolves corner. And Traore staring out the assistant referee on this near side.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's had some physical challenges on him in this second half. You can see there. Justin's just blatantly just rolled him over. And you can see why he's asking the question to the assistant referee about maybe thinking about a little bit of protection or something just to stop him from actually getting fouled so much.
Well, it's a right-footed corner for João Moutinho from the right-hand side. Dendoncker, Kilman, Fabio Silva, Neves, Traore, the targets. It's going to go high towards the far post. It's won in the air by Soyuncu, just goes straight up. Drops towards Neves on the edge of the box. It's Mike wriggle its way through here to Fabio Silva.
Oh,
wide.
Score.
Fabio Silva in. He's going to get a corner. The deflection from Neves' touch into his path, and Fabio Silva closing in. Kasper Schmeichel came flying out and just did enough to put him off.
Oh, he's got to score there. He's onside as well. Oh, he's got to score for me. Those are the big moments, the key moments. Okay, it's a good
Maybe
save.
just off the foot of Schmeichel.
It was off his foot, but for me, he's got to score that. He's got to score that. I thought he was going to dink it. Over him. Oh, what a great opportunity that is.
Martinho with the corner, right-footed from the right-hand side. Just over 12 minutes left to play. Another decent ball in, this time away by Vardy. Semedo back out wide to Martinho. Martinho being shown in field by Albrighton on his left foot. Crossing to the far post, Schmeichel comes and claims. Well, Kasper Schmeichel produced something special at the King Power earlier this season to deny Ruben Neves.
He did. But you're looking there, a little dink over him to the big part of the goal. Just looking from behind the goals and out the chance.
I think without that touch off the bottom of the boot of Schmeichel, it would have gone in, you know.
Yeah, without doubt. He said, look, I think he's hit the target, but and he saved it.
It's 78 minutes played. Here come Leicester down their left-hand side. Justin, a couple of yards from the corner flag. Support from Chowdhury. Now for Justin, through the legs of Semedo. Maddison, cross blocked off by Dendoncker, and Traore trying to clear. Finds Tillemans, who teed it up and hit it on the half volley over the top of the crossbar goal kick.
Yeah, that's a bit ambitious for him, wasn't it? 25, 30 yards out. Again, it's become an open game. Just got to be careful that they don't give nothing away, especially now they've got Vardy on as well.
Nil-nil at Molineux with 79 minutes on the clock. Can Wolves find the goal? It's been a decent performance all round, really. And they are still fighting. Leicester get a throw just over the halfway line.
Well, this is the area now, the last 10 minutes or so coming into, that you've got to concentrate. People starting to get a bit tired.
Well, it's been Leicester's most successful period of the game in the Premier League so far in terms of scoring goals, but also in terms of conceding them, at least successful. They concede more in this last period and score more.
Let's hope it's the latter.
Traore looked like an arm in there.
Ball, yeah. In his defence, he was like wrestling, wasn't he, with Justin when it's caught to him. But the referee was pretty close to him when it's come to the challenge.
Last 10 minutes at Molineux. Soyuncu to Evans, just short of the centre circle. To his right-hand side to Chowdhury. Now Tillemans, Chowdhury, back in field to Soyuncu. Who can turn and try and carry the ball forwards. In towards Maddison, blocked off by Dendoncker, who tracked him. Semedo putting his foot through it. Time for Johnny Evans to collect it, though.
Yeah, it's not the time to just be booting the ball into Leicester's hands. Got to try and do something with it.
Justin for Soyuncu. Now for Johnny Evans. Just to the right of the centre circle. Again, a long straight one. This time looking for Vardy. Vardy flicking it infield. Semedo always tried to slide and he didn't get a connection. And Harvey Barnes blocked off by Martinho. Ball coming infield. Picked up by Tillemans or Brighton. Worked it out to the left-hand side for Barnes. Up against Semedo and he's beating him infield. Now putting it back to Tillemans onto all Brighton, who strikes it a long way wide of the right-hand post of Rui Patricio.
Yeah, so again, just playing themselves into trouble a little bit there. A couple of opportunities to get possession of the ball. Just gets away from them. Yeah, so well walled by Albrighton. Just seeing the replay.
Goal kick taken short to Cody. Who will dribble it out of the penalty area. He's carried it to the midway point of the half. Finds Kilman. Down the line for Hoover. Will be a Wolves throw. No sign of any more changes from Wolves. Hoover, who came on at half-time for Johnny. His first 45 minutes back. Really well in that first period.
Yeah, he did. He did. And you can understand why they took him off, because again, once you start to get tired, that's when you can start to get soft tissue injuries, and they don't want to cause that problem.
Soyuncu for Leicester. Back in field to Johnny Evans. Midway inside his own half. He's got time to try and knock a long one in behind the Wolves' defence, but it's all the way through to Rui Patricio.
Yeah, good line. They're just holding the line there. Just keep trying to keep them up. And just let it go through to Patricio.
Kick downfield. That goes over the top of Traore and Justin. So Soyuncu slices his clearance. It's not even gone out of play. It's just gone straight up in the air. Tillerman's turned and hooked it forwards, and it's out of play for a Wolves throw.
Yeah, so as we touched on earlier, so it's an important time now that they've got to try and just make sure that they don't give Leicester an easy opportunity to get anything, but also as well to be able to create an opportunity for them to get a goal-scoring chance.
Semedo's throw. Fabio Silva challenging. It's a Leicester throw.
He's done well to spot that. I wasn't sure who that come off.
Dry January is over for Rich and Lisa. With a pint and Willing on a home win. Wishes it was a pre-match pint in the Wanderer. Soyuncu deep inside his own half, trying to lift it forwards towards Madison, who helped it on. Dendoncker there ahead of Vardy. Chowdhury clear. Semedo got a touch to it. Martinho did well just to use his time to bring the ball down, and now find Traore, who's set off at speed again, driving forwards. Did Chowdhury catch him? Referee seems to think that Chowdhury got the ball. Leicester clear up towards Vardy to Barnes. 6 minutes left to play. Floodlights beginning to take over as Kilman steps in on Madison.
I don't think that's a challenge. I think he's just stood there, hasn't he? Kilman just planted his foot, and then Madison just gone over on it. Yeah.
Well, he is rather adept, James Madison, at drawing free kicks. Tillemans takes this one out towards Ricardo. Ricardo's got the better of Hoover, and now driving into the penalty area. Neves back there, brilliant sliding challenge. He was my man of the match the other night, and he's had another very good night, a very good afternoon here, Ruben Neves.
Yeah, he has. He's worked tirelessly in that midfield area, him and Martinho, haven't they?
Ricardo on the right-hand touchline, blocked off by Neto, another throw.
We haven't got Neto into this second half as much as we did first half, have we? We've got a little bit more from Traore in the second half. It'd be great if we can get them both firing in this last 5 minutes.
Hoover down by his own corner flag, clearing, and as far as Albrighton. Foot in again by Hoover. Now Neto can try and get it clear. Infield to Martinho. Martinho sold it a little bit short to Traore, who's managed to hold off Justin. But Justin and Chowdhury combined to win possession back.
Yeah, Chowdhury's helped Justin out a few times, hasn't he? So they're doubling up on him.
Tillemans just holding off Cody. Evans' ball forwards came off Fabio Silva. Kilman will head it away. Neves trying to find Fabio Silva, and he goes flying in again. Good challenge.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Neto has got Traore to his right, driving deep in the Leicester half. Here is Adama Traore. Trying to cross it left-footed, blocked by Chowdhury. Comes back to Traore. Support from Semedo. Morgan Gibbs-White's going to come on very shortly. Ball goes back to Dendoncker and infield to Connor Cody, and we have less than 4 minutes to play at Molineux. Still 0-0. Kilman on halfway. Infield to Neves. Now for João Martinho. To the right-hand side to Semedo. Back infield into his own half to Dendoncker. Wide to Semedo. Neves just to the right of the centre circle. We'll play it infield to Cody. Cody didn't have any options longer, so goes to Kilman. He plays it out wide to the feet of Hoover. Hoover wanted to try and cut back in field, and he's continued on his run here. Brilliant run from Hoover to the edge of the box, trying to shoot.
Yeah.
Saw light up with a goal in front of him, and rather off balance, sliced his shot.
I'd just say Neto's coming off, but I'd say like holding his hands out in despair there. Neto, he expected the ball to come from Hoover. Yeah, he's had a bit of a quieter half this second half from Neto, but say generally he's had a decent game though.
And he's replaced by Morgan Gibbs-White for the final 2.5 minutes plus time to be added on. Say Hoover did brilliantly. Yeah. He carried on, he didn't give it up, and then having got to the edge of the box, it was kind of a, what, are you going to lay it to someone else, or are you going to have a go?
It's like a defender's effort, that one, isn't it? It's like he'd done all the hard work, win the ball back, getting it, and then wondering what to do with it after you got it.
Well, some defenders managed to fluke quite a few goals in their Wolves career. Others not so lucky.
Just a few, just a few.
Soyuncu for Chowdhury. Soyuncu again. Fabio Silva putting the pressure on. Evans towards Albrighton. Kilman had tracked him a long way. Tillemans trying to switch it out to the left-hand side to Harvey Barnes. Barnes up against Semedo. He's got him isolated. Into the penalty area he goes. Semedo just trying to hold him up here, and Barnes loses his footing.
Did well, defended well. Did really well, Semedo.
It's clearing straight to Chowdhury, though.
Yeah. Clearance not so much, but his defending was good against Barnes.
Heading towards the final 60 seconds of the 90. Wolves 0, Leicester 0. Ricardo Pereira on the right-hand side, trying to lift it in towards Vardy. He found him, but Kilman benefiting from the difficulty of being able to control. Or Hoover's lost it to Albrighton, trying to get back with him, and the assistant referee's flagging, and it's a Leicester free kick. Well, a chance for a set piece, and Nuno's fuming.
I'm not surprised, because that, again, it's self-inflicted, isn't it? Won the ball, got a little bit of luck bouncing off Vardy to come to Kilman. Plays the ball out to Hoover, who gives the ball away. And that's where you can't afford to give it away. Just watching the replay of it again. Yeah, it's just come off his shin, and is it Vardy? It just fell nice for Kilman. That's where he's just got to try and play it forward. Hoover.
You are in that stage of the game where sometimes you do just need to get it away.
Yeah, well, you don't put it at risk, especially in that top third for Leicester.
We're going to have the last 10 seconds of the 90 as we wait for Maddison to take this free kick on the right-hand side. 10 yards from the corner flag. Morgan Gibbs-White's a one-man wall just inside the penalty area. 3 minutes is what's going to be added on. All eyes on James Maddison here to try and pull it to the edge of the box for Tillemans, who miskicks it. He tries to tee it up for Chowdhury. Chowdhury further back in, still inside the Wolves half to Justin. To the right-hand side to Ricardo, the inside right. Tries to stand it up towards the far post, and Dendoncker got there ahead of Johnny Evans, but it will be a Leicester corner.
Yeah, well defended by Dendoncker. Now this is where you just got to stay strong. Now, if you're not going to win the game, I've said it before, you don't lose it. They've got a clean sheet. It's another point to the tally. Yeah, Tillemans made a bit of...
Maddison's corner, right-footed from the left-hand side. Everybody back defending it. It's going to be whipped in towards the danger zone, and Patricio punched it to the edge of the box. Gibbs-White helped it on high in the air. Chowdhury forwards again. Soyuncu trying to head it out to the Leicester right. Barnes trying to get there ahead of Hoover. It's going to be lifted back into the danger zone. Vardy's header, and it's wide. What a chance for Leicester. Best one they've crafted, really.
Well, there you go. There's that predator instinct, isn't it, Vardy? Just on the shoulder. I don't think he's actually seen him coming. Dendoncker, he hasn't seen Vardy. He's done a run. Oh, and that's why he's got so many goals, isn't it? In that run on the blind side. Yeah, so like Dendoncker's got the height advantage, but it's that movement from Vardy. Oh,
Traore trying to jump high, didn't get there. Just about 1:15 left to play. Cody for Kiana Hoover. just trying to set it down the line for Gibbs White. Across came Johnny Evans, put it back deep in the Wolves half, and it's a throw midway inside it. Wolves won't be in any rush at the moment.
No.
So, given the way things have gone in recent weeks, to have come away from back-to-back home games with 4 points from Arsenal and Leicester, you would say that's a good return.
Well, you would, in the form that Leicester are in as well, and Arsenal. I know it went down to 9 men, but the form that both teams are in, it's a good result.
Flow down the line, Gibbs White trying to flick it in field, Tielemans forwards, Vardy with a chest down, Martinho trying to get something on it, all Brighton forwards, Vardy on the inside right, coming in field and finding Chowdhury. Last 15 seconds of the game, Ricardo Pereira infield to Tielemans, crossing from deep, it's going to come through to Barnes, who's sent a bit wider than he wanted to be. Semedo tracks him to the corner flag, back to Justin. We're in added time now as Justin goes in field to Madison, and he takes a tumble. Referee says no, and he's going to blow up for the final whistle. It finishes Wolves 0, Leicester 0. Adama Traore and Fabio Silva with the best of the opportunities for Wolves. Adama Traore's one blocked in the first half. Fabio Silva drawing a stunning save from Kasper Schmeichel, just hitting the bottom of his boot, sending the ball wide when it looked for all the world like he was going to give Wolves the advantage. Jamie Vardy flashed a late header wide of the far post. Leicester dominated possession first half. Wolves controlled much more of it second. They've got themselves another clean sheet. They've picked up a point, and at the end of a tough week, they will look back on this as a point well earned. It finished at Molineux, Wolves 0, Leicester 0.
Well, as I said, so I think that coming against Leicester, a form team that are very good going forward. They've got some great results. They're third in the league, and you'll take that result. You'll take a 0-0 with them because, they didn't just absorb a lot of pressure from Leicester. They actually took the point onto it. You just saw Silva there with a great opportunity and a chance for it. We've seen Neves with a chance as well. And look, they'll be well pleased with the results. They're lucky coming against a Leicester team who, as we know, were favourites probably for the game. But to go out there and more than match them, just shows you what confidence can come from that victory in midweek.
Absolutely. Wolves, a clean sheet as well.
Yeah.
Which is a big boost, isn't it? Given how long it had been before we kept one at Chelsea the other week. So to see the job through there, we will hopefully continue on. Well, let's take a quick break, and then we'll get the thoughts of Chris Iwelumo and Carl Ikeme here on Wolves TV Matchday Live Extra.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Join the pack. Become a 2021 member online today. Whether you're a dribbler joining for the first time or an international fan supporting from afar. Being a Wolves member gets you an exclusive joining gift, £10 Megastore voucher, and exclusive offers from Wolves and our partners. For more information and to join, visit membership.wolves.co.uk.
Wolves Lottery is committed to helping Wolverhampton and the local community improve, whilst giving fans the chance to win some fantastic money-can't-buy prizes, excellent Wolves experiences, as well as £1,800 given away every week. For more information and to sign up online, visit wolves.co.uk/Wolves-Lottery.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear, and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Jimenez! Oh, you beauty!
But that's that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
The volley over the goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Full time at Molineux then, Wolves 0, Leicester 0. So often it's been difficult to separate these two sides, and so it proved again here this afternoon. The second year in a row the meeting between these two has finished goalless. Wolves maybe just edging the clear or the clearest goal scoring opportunities. Leicester controlling the possession for much of that encounter. Chris Iwelumo, that was a decent game. Wolves had a good spell at the start of the second half, but Leicester were always going to come back strongly, and in the end is a point each a fair result.
I would have to say a point, I think, as a fair result. But it's the small margins, isn't it? You know, I think the big chance, the Vardy header, fantastic movement, but the Fabio Silva one for me, and that chance just doesn't fall to Willie and Jose for the fact that his movement, Fabio Silva, he's always on the go, he's anticipating. But once he'd got there, Tomo was spot on. He actually had that much time. He's seen that Schmeichel had committed himself, and it's just having that clinical idea. The little dink was on. I think probably the first 20 minutes of the second half, the possession was 60-40 in our favour. It just shows you how dominant we were. We were getting on the ball, we're doing the right things. Leicester were always going to have their moment, and like you say, I think a point is a fair result, but a fantastic result. I think if you look at it from the other day, 4 points from Arsenal and Leicester, you've already touched on the form. You'd be happy with that as manager, but again, Nuno's going to look at those small margins. We could have took 3 points, because if Fabio Silva puts that in the back of the net, we just defend the way that we do, and we see the game out like we've done time and time again. But it is a good point.
Can't like Ikeme, what did you make of it in the end?
Yeah, I agree. That a point, we might have just edged it if maybe an argument of being Wolves pundits and Wolves men, but yeah. I think it was a good performance. What I was happy with was I was happy with our balance, and I felt like we defended well, we attacked well, and I don't feel we've quite got that combination all right for the last 6 weeks or so. There's been spells or moments of it, but there might have been spells where we felt really attacking, but a little bit suspect at the back, or maybe too solid and not enough going forward. But I felt like we had a good balance of play. We were quite solid, and Vardy had the chance at the end, but in any game, any team's going to get a chance. I felt like we had the balance. We created opportunities. We defended well. We looked solid in our shape. We looked confident. And I was happy that the chance that fell to Fabio, obviously, we'd loved him to dink it and pull it away. It was a great chance, and there's a few chances that fell to us in the first half where if we were a little bit clinical, we might have just took the game away from Leicester. But it's not a bad point. 4 points from the past two games is good, and it's something we can build on. I felt like I know I don't want to say this, it sounds annoying, but we felt like back to the old Wolves today, where we kind of knew what we was going to get.
Yeah, I was exactly going to make that point, that it felt like the Wolves that we've come to know. And I don't know how much of that is having Johnny back in that first half and what he brings to the team. But it just felt like some of the stuff we talked about at half-time, Tomo, about the midfield and the way they operated. And it felt very much like a classic Wolves Premier League performance.
Well, it did. So, look, and it was nice to see that we were actually getting into them. So, like I said in the first half, as half-time, that we was actually competing with them. We were getting challenges in. We were making it difficult for Leicester. And we more than did that in the second half. I thought the first 20 minutes or so in that second half, we definitely took the game to Leicester. We had them on the back foot, so like we stopped Leicester from attacking, and we've had some good opportunities throughout there. So like you look at Traore down this right hand side, I thought he had a better second half. I thought that he created a lot more down there and caused problems to Leicester. He was just a shame. The one of Neto coming in at the back post, I think he's just got his feet twisted around a little bit, so like just didn't get himself balanced. But definitely better. So like it's as Cole's saying there, I just think we looked more like ourselves. Clean sheet, not letting chances. Didn't really give Leicester that many chances. A great block coming in that second half as well, where we thought that, hang on a minute, he's going to have the opportunity. I think it was Barnes, but that's what it's all about, making sure that you keep yourself in the game. If it's 0-0, you keep a clean sheet, you give yourself a chance to win the game, and we did that this afternoon.
Two elements to it, isn't there? Defending and attacking. Looms, you mentioned in the half time of Pedro Neto in the first half had a couple of amazing runs and put a wonderful ball across through the 6-yard box. Second half, it was about Adama Traore, and he did the same. And Neto was close to kind of getting on the end of it, because there was a couple of those runs by Traore that were just unplayable. I mean, the worst one from a Leicester point of view is where two players effectively left James Justin and said, "No way,
I've had enough.
You deal with it, because we know he's going to get past you. We'll deal with the second part to it."
No, it's I thought he was outstanding second half. I thought James Justin dealt with Adama Traore very well in the first half. Second half, he couldn't. He was unplayable, and that's what I mean. I think. I want to see more of that. I want to see that from the start. It's in the first half when he ran James Justin a couple of times, and Justin dealt with it. Then mix it up. Second half, he was coming in, he was bouncing it, he was getting the ball. He was unplayable. And you know what? The service at the end of it as well. That ball to Neto, it was just one of them. He never even had to kind of hit it as cleanly as he did. I know he got his legs tangled up, but just steer it towards goal and ask the question. I agree with Tomo in his commentary that I think the officials can definitely protect Traore a lot more than what they do. The Maddison one where he takes him, just clips the knee. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. I know it's like we all talk about it. Yeah, he took one for the team there, but you know what? It's a dangerous challenge at the end. But I thought he was outstanding. I thought it was the quality, and that's what he can bring. Yeah. It's the service, and that he's been working on that final pass, that final product, and he's been so many assists for us. But we'll talk about the formation and looking back at the back to the old Wolves. We're very much in a transitional period. Nuno's put to the players that he wants to see more goals coming from all around. So I just feel that the way that we set up, I think Johnny being back definitely brings a balance. And I understand what you're saying, but I think that it's something that we have to get used to, that formations are going to change throughout the 90 minutes. And that's something maybe Nuno's trying to kind of implement, having the 4, then having the 5, the 3. The fundamentals are all kind of the same, depending on what the personnel is. But the players have to have an understanding of that.
I don't want to talk too much about formations, because I know Carl Ikeme absolutely hates this.
I enjoy it, really.
But on a point on it though, Keems, kind of picking out Max Kilman and Leander Dendoncker, because Dendoncker going back in there, I say before the game, he played it 17 times last season. It's not alien to him, but it's not been the role he's been doing this year. Max Kilman had a difficult night the other night. And so back in kind of his more favoured role, those two either side of Cody looked very solid, didn't they?
Yeah, they do. Dendonker's a really good player. A really good player to have in our squad, because what he brings to us. Max Kilman, he's going to have them games against Arsenal. He's a young boy, and he's going to make mistakes at times. But he was brilliant again today. Solid, really good defender, really comfortable on the ball when he needs to be. And Dendoncker, I feel like Dendonker's one of them players you put in there, you know what you're going to get. He might get you a goal. He's going to give you 100%. He's got energy, and he'll always do a job for the team. The only thing is, I know it's always hindsight. Then, like, taking Dendoncker out of midfield takes an extra body out of the box for us as well. Yeah. So it's
that was blatant throughout the game. That was so look where we've only got one really in the box. I was saying about Traore coming in at the back. But it is, you're right, so Dendoncker's that extra player in the box, as you said.
Yeah, it's that balance, isn't it, Tomo, where it's hard for us to get right at times, but if he didn't play at the back, would we have maybe able to cope with their pace at times and their movement? It's a mystery, isn't it, at times? And we are in a bit of a transitional period. If Bali was fit today, would Dendoncker played in the middle of the pitch? And that's not to take away from Neves and Moutinho, because I thought they were really good as well today. But it's just all these little things that like we said, we're in a transitional period, and I think things will keep changing, and formations might even change at times. I do believe that he wants to try and get more possession, because I think obviously if we have more possession, we can have more control of the game. But having said that, we were good today. I like the balance of the team. I felt like we were attacking at times. We did create opportunities. We did have chances to score, but we just couldn't quite get one of them away.
On the element of the midfielders, and obviously, Dendoncker not being there to arrive in the penalty area. Tomo made the point in commentary, though, Looms, that Neves and Moutinho did seem to be a couple of yards higher up. They both had opportunity. I mean, Neves had an opportunity first half in the penalty area. Maybe should have done a little bit better. Moutinho, you could argue, given the goal he scored the other night, that one that drops him teed up on the edge of the box, you're thinking, here we go again.
No, spot on. And it was, they're taking responsibility, aren't they? They understand that, if Dendoncker's not there, then they have to share that. The Moutinho one, it's such a hard one for a goalkeeper. If he just comes back on himself, Carl, just whips it. Sauchu had already sold himself. The keeper's unsighted. He's already coming across. And if he goes back on himself, he's probably hit the ball too well. But just a bit of whipping.
Tried to do too much, hasn't he, Looms?
Yeah.
I think instead of just guiding it into the corner, I think we did have it without creating. We had clear cut opportunities, but them opportunities on the edge of the box are opportunities for the quality that they've got as well. But they just didn't quite get it right.
But they have to do that. They have to step forward. Yeah. I think Neves, you can see, I think in the first half alone, he had 2 or 3 shots, block shots as well. And that's what we want from him. That's how he's going to get goals. Yeah. And we spoke about it before a ball was kicked today, that the two of them will have a little bit more because of what they did the other night. A goal makes you feel like you can go out and do it again. And both of them will be disappointed that they've probably not got a goal today.
But it also as well, I think that with them two playing up and we started to press the ball a little bit higher up the field, it drags the team up. I think that the back line was a bit further up, gets them in touch with Maddison, who we know is going to be a threat. But also as well, it gives us the chances that the two midfield lads have shots at goal. Neves has had probably 5-6 chances at goal today. Yeah. Where before, because he's playing so deep, Connor Cody can do that job for me, where he pass the ball, get Neves 10-15 yards, and it made a massive difference to the team today. Put us in touch with actually getting some challenges in and actually snapping at them. And that was the main thing for me. I thought that straight away that they made sure that Leicester knew that they were in this game.
Overall then, I think we're fairly positive, despite not being able to get enough to win this one. In terms of man of the match, choices for you all.
I'll go last.
Again, there was some good all-round performances in there, weren't there? I think Ruben Neves, I mentioned in commentary, I thought he was very good. We talked about Max Kilman and Leander Dendoncker both being very good in there as well. Traore was unplayable second half. Neto was near unplayable first half. Carl Ikeme is still pondering. Let's go to Tomo.
Is that his thinking face?
let's make Tomo go first.
Okay, I'll go first. I don't mind. I'm going to go for Neves. I thought Neves played well in that central midfield. I thought that it was better to see him further going up the field and create chances. I thought that he should have had a chance or a goal even. But I thought that he worked hard. He worked tirelessly in that midfield area for me today.
Keems?
Do you know what? I'm not going to disagree with you, but I'm just going to go for I think I'm going to just change it up. I'm going to go for Neto. I think Neto was really good first half, Neto. Really good first half. Faded off towards the last 10 minutes. I felt like we just ran out of steam. I think the whole team ran out of steam, in honesty, but he's done a great job of creating opportunities in the first half especially, and taking us upfield, carrying the ball, being a threat to Leicester. So I'm going to go Neto.
Go on, Liams.
Well, I think I've got to agree with Tomo. I think Neto first half, Traore second half, but I think Neto and Moutinho, just that relationship. We said that Dendoncker was probably the first name on the team sheet in that position for what he was bringing, but the two of them have really taken that responsibility on, and like you say, he just cleans up well, very tidy, getting up, picking up seconds at the edge of the box, shots away as well. Unlucky not to get on the back, get on the score sheet. So I'd probably go with Neves as well.
Okay, really interesting. Of course, you can let us know your thoughts and get all the reaction from this game at wolves.co.uk and across the Wolves social media channels as well. Boys, thank you very much indeed. We're going to go again on Thursday with the FA Cup against Southampton, which is the first of back-to-back meetings against the Saints. So Matchday Live Extra will be back with you on Thursday evening, but the cold has now spread to my special place. So we are going to finish the show there. Thank you, Chris Iwelumo, Carl Ikeme, and Andy Thompson. Thank you to you all for watching. We'll see you all soon here on Wolves TV.